I won't bless that guy, that son of a
that son of a that poor son, that poor son, that
son of a bitch.
Okay, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Pro Crastinators podcast. It's Gibbs not here today. I don't know what she's doing. Some nonsense, I guess.
God rest.
But God rip. But we've got TectonicImprov and Gamers Tavern, aka Krono, here. In the studio. Here live in the studio with a live studio audience. Woo!
Yeah! All right.
Ah! Woo!
I'm back.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
True.
I should start this off with one of my customary jokes.
God. Yeah.
Of course. Let's hear it.
Let's have it.
A ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer, and the bartender says, sorry, we don't serve food here.
Well, that
okay, yeah.
I'll play devil's advocate here and be like and say that request is more than reasonable because like ham sandwich, come on, he can't even, he'll just get all soppy, like wet bread is gross, like
that's just racism, because there's no law, like there's a law against serving minors. He'd get in trouble. There's no law against serving food. Yeah, so that's just bigotry.
Yeah.
But it's for his own good.
It's foodism.
Just like Jim Crow, right? You racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Ham sandwich laws.
Separate but equal, right? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna spoil something that's gonna happen later on in this podcast. I think you might have heard that the SpeakPipe mailbox finally filled up.
Congratulations,
everyone.
It was supposed to only hold like 100 megabytes, like because we have the like test the what do you call it, membership,
the trial
like
period
we have the trial period free membership. It should have filled up like years ago, but it just kept letting us do more and more. But at some point, a couple people messaged me and said, wait, and yet we got a new one just yesterday. How can this be?
I was going to say, I was hoping that meant that we would have less voicemails this time.
That's what, yeah, we would all hope. Yeah, maybe. Possibly. But I'm looking and, yeah, actually we do. Yeah, we have fewer than usual. So I think, but here's the thing. I will just go back and I will delete old ones from the... Yeah, our so next week, by the time you're listening to this, it should be okay to send more. But between then and now, the box will be full, and I'm sorry about that. The trial period is 100 megabytes free. Our current storage use is 1.86 gigabytes. So we really, storage use 1.8646 gigabytes out of 100 megabytes. So we really got a ratio. All I can say to that is ratio.
Do you know for certain you have a trial account? Maybe like Nate or someone just sprung for like a full account and you just never noticed. I don't know how this works. So.
It's possible. It says this is the limit. Wait here.
Well, fair enough then.
Yeah. Here's our little sidebar. You can see for yourself. I swear I'm not bullshitting you. There's the blam screenshot down at the bottom. Storage used. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
1.46 gigabytes out of 100 megabytes.
Yeah, I wasn't lying.
All adds up to me. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, 1 gigabyte is 1,000 megabytes.
True.
Because nowadays a lot of people don't know that. Zoomers probably have no idea what a megabyte even is.
Because the units just don't go that small.
Isn't it like a little different probably from like 1 to 1,000? Isn't there like a slight
it's like maybe 1,024 or something like that.
I remember.
Wait, why?
I fucking computer code shit. Who cares? But like,
okay.
I remember looking something up about it because when I made my Super Mario Land video, for some reason I put a little diatribe in about the difference between a megabyte and a mebibyte.
Mebibyte.
A mebibyte, yeah. Like, what's a mebibyte?
Is that a pun?
No, it's just a different type of measurement. I'm not going to speak on exactly what it is.
Is it something in like base 64 or some crap like that?
I think so. Maybe.
I never heard of it, but I have heard of megabits.
Yeah.
A mebibyte equals 2. Oh, it's 2 to the 20th bytes, or it's just over 1 million bytes. So it's slightly more than a megabyte. But it's in base.
I gotta
base
wonder
2 or whatever.
I gotta wonder where it's used, or if it's like
I think
even
very
used
base.
at all. Yeah,
Very
base.
base.
Indeed.
Very base. I think. Yeah, I guess I think it would be used in a context in which you are using like binary code because it's base 2. I think that's probably why it exists. But yeah, it just happens to be like functionally almost the same size as a megabyte.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's funny. I wonder if they sound similar on purpose.
Well, now that we know that gender isn't binary, I think we need to retire binary code.
Yeah, I think it's gotta go.
It's off the spectrum. True. Very, very problematic. Ones and zeros. We gotta do. It's quantum, right? We gotta do quantum computing. No,
It's kind of
that's
like
probably-
how
that's
the
probably
hard
not
drives, they used
true.
to be masters and slaves. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rip.
And we have male and female cords or outlets or whatever.
Oh, what did I see? I saw I saw a really funny meme that I thought was very clever, and here's what it is. It was that a Mr. Incredible face. You know, the happy one, and then the black and white, like, scared looking one. It was like jobs in which what was it's like when at your job someone asks you to do someone jobs that require you to work with I don't know, male on male or something like gay, like work for gay, right? And it's like baker, good, yeah, bake a cake for the gay people. Something else, wedding planner, blah blah blah. Last one was electrician. No, oh god. Oh yes, I see. You see. The comedy came from when one frame of reference suddenly came into unexpected conflict with a second frame of reference that used the same vocabulary. The joke was very human. It caused a surprise reaction in me that gave me a sensation of delight and caused laughter.
Very human podcast.
Very human.
It reminds me of that clip that you tweeted ages ago where Trixie was explaining some kind of joke.
Oh, God, I vaguely remember. I vaguely remember that. I don't remember what the joke was, but it was something like, I don't know. Do you remember what the joke was?
Oh yeah, I think it was something about majors and minors, and I think it was a quote.
It was
from
a
an
rap
album.
verse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, she was
The
explaining
Mr.
that,
Girl
like, haha,
thing?
you see the... Yes. It was a Mr. Girl lyric about, sex with minors, but he meant, the joke was, it was a play on minors, as in children, versus minors as in people that work in a mine.
Like
which
Minecraft.
is a never been done before. Never heard that one before. I remember, yes, she was like, oh, here's why this is genius. See, here's the brilliance of this pun. You see, it conflates the meaning of two different words that sound the same, but are written differently. Very human.
Well, you know what they say, you should never explain a joke.
Never
true.
under any circumstances, even if asked. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's
See,
kind
if
of...
you have to
explaining
explain
a
the joke
is like saying the N-word. You should never do it.
in what's the Ronald Reagan, in politics and comedy, if you're explaining, you're losing. What's the actual quote? What was the actual thing he said?
I think he said, "Oh, oof, ouch, oh, it hurts so bad. Take me to a
hell,
hospital
the
immediately."
Fire. The hellfire is burning. Margaret Thatcher, my friend, save me.
Actually, speaking of Reagan, did you guys see that the guy that tried to assassinate Reagan has a YouTube channel?
John Hinckley Jr., that's right.
Oh.
He's been making music recently. He just recently, I think
That's
last
awesome.
June, got taken off his probation, so he was looking to tour to a couple of venues, but like every single venue keeps canceling on him because he's John Hinckley Jr. But that's fucked up. Let the man play. It's all I say.
Man play. He served. He
did his time. He's rehabilitated.
He did his time. What is this?
I think he did like 40 years or something.
Yeah,
Too much.
He only got out a couple of years ago, and only just recently his probation came out, so he was able to. I think he's just recently able to post online. I think he had someone else doing it for him until then.
God damn it, when will they let frickin' oh no, I'm forgetting their names. Molly and Arissa. The Slenderman girls. When will they let them post online?
I don't know. Are they still? They're not serving time, are they? Because they're like minors.
One of them was let out fairly recently, but I think she is still on probation and not allowed to use the internet. Morgan, justice for Morgan and Anissa.
Well, yeah, because wasn't one of them like one of them was sort of the ringleader, and the other was just kind of like a follower sort of thing. So they were more lenient on the follower. I know you talked about this last week. I haven't listened to the episode.
I don't know what the official. I don't know what the official conclusion was. From their testimony, they both kind of seemed to suggest the other one was in charge. But I'm pretty sure that Morgan is the one that did the actual stabbing. So yeah, and Anissa is the other one, and so I think it was probably safer for them to get her out of there.
Whenever you're in trouble, just blame the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be working out. They're already on probation, maybe.
It worked for Anissa. Anissa? I don't
know. The kid they stabbed didn't die, right?
She did not. She could have. She was pretty close to dying, but she did not die.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, they came pretty close to severing a fairly major artery, but they didn't. Yeah,
that story was fucking crazy. Little known fact about me, I fucking loved Slenderman YouTube shows. I watched all of them, even the really bad ones. I watched them.
Are you talking about like Marble Hornets?
Yeah, Marble Hornets, Evermore Hybrid, Tribe 12, Dark Harvest.
I watched some Marble Hornets because it was recommended to me. I don't know. I watched a bunch of it. I wasn't around for when it was like popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
about it later.
I got the DVDs, baby.
They had DVDs.
They did. They had a Blu-ray too. Unfortunately, the Blu-ray's like sold out. I don't think they make it anymore. But yeah, I got the DVDs. The menus are like really good.
DVDs of Let's Plays.
It is kind of like that. It's
oh my god.
It's it was kind of like Marble Hornets was like what 2009, 2010, and the DVDs I think
sounds
were like
about right.
Like early 2010. So it was like one of the first ever like YouTube things I ever got as like physical media. It's on my other shelf, so I'm not gonna grab it and like survey it right now, but it was pretty good. Like the DVD menu was like pretty well made. They had like a commentary for all the episodes. Aren't
there like a million episodes?
I think there's like 60 something. They span it over 3 seasons, quote unquote.
So they did like creator commentary tracks.
They did, yeah. For every
amazing.
Episode. Yeah,
that actually sounds great.
And that should be done with the PCP as well.
Didn't you guys do that a couple of times?
That's a great idea. We did it once. I think we just did it once, but yeah, the creator's commentary track.
Actually, I think you did it a few
Patreon.com/the
times.
Pro Crastinators if you want to hear the director's commentary of. I don't even remember which episode we did it of. I think it was an early one.
Probably the first one, right?
Might have been the first one. It was an early
I think
one.
you did it a few times, and I was on for one of those. Because
Yeah,
one of
we
them,
did.
one of the episodes
Yeah.
was the first episode I was on.
Know what? You're right. I think we actually did it. I think we did it twice.
That sounds right.
But maybe one of them was the first one. Anyway, it worked great. It made perfect sense in an audio medium. Nobody complained.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
it doesn't seem like that terrible of an idea.
it is a bit. I think some people said it's a little confusing because you keep hearing the same voices.
Oh, sure.
And like
yeah.
one is past Ben and one is future Ben, and the one is commentating on the other, and it can be a little hard to keep track. I think
Well, whichever one doesn't sound like he's talking through a tin can is the normal
That's true.
Ben.
That's true. Also, my voice just changed over the years. My voice became like higher pitch for some reason.
Did you stop? Did you like originally record like lying on your stomach or something?
You know
like
what?
that.
Actually, I think I did. I mean, not all the time, but I think I probably would record lying on my stomach. Yeah, there was a time when I did that.
That might have
That's
something to
a-
do with it then.
That's a very
yeah.
Ben Core thing to do.
Yeah, now that you mention it.
There's that Let's Player or streamer Northern Lion. I watched him
Mhm.
for a really long time, and like the early days, he just sounds like his voice is like a lot deeper and a lot less like animated, I guess. And and like nowadays he sounds different, and you could chalk that up to just like, oh well, he's been doing this for a long time, he's more comfortable. But it's also because I remember hearing that he used to record lying on his back with his laptop on his like stomach, like playing the games. So like that's gonna change how your voice sounds. Like even if I
think
like stood up instead of sat down when
that's so
podcasting,
funny.
I'd sound a little different.
I
So
think
that's a strategy.
There definitely were episodes where I wouldn't lie on my back with my laptop on my stomach. I would lie on my stomach with my like head and hands sort of like hanging over the front edge of the bed with the laptop on my floor in front of me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Voice actors need to take notes because this is how you really do it.
This is how you get range.
That's the little professional podcaster's tip right there. A little that one's for free.
How do you think Mel Blanc did it? All those
Mel
amazing
Blanc?
voices, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Marvin the Martian. He was
He was
doing
lying on
trapeze.
his stomach for all of them.
Yeah, he's lying on his stomach, on his back, doing
Lying in
pull-ups.
different positions. It's like they never got back to me. They never got back to me about my voice acting audition for that stupid Daft Peanut cartoon.
Oh,
I'll never make it.
is there like something happening with that? I haven't
I don't
been
know.
listening to the PCP for a while. I fell off the wagon. I'm recently catching up.
Weeks and weeks ago, yeah, he just put out a casting call for voice actors for some cartoon he was making, and I said, sure, why not? And I just recorded some lines and sent them, and I didn't hear anything back. So, that's fucked up.
Do you have any?
Man.
Do you have any like nepotism you could use? Does like Cheesy know him or something?
I don't know. I guess I was like, if on some chance he knew who Ben Saint was, if he'd seen the Sonichu lecture or something, maybe that could have helped me name recognition wise. But to my knowledge, nothing came of that, and it's probably been too late at this. It's either the project's canceled or he picked someone else. It's surely, which is not okay. So I'm not cool with it. I'm gonna be very mad. I'm gonna dislike bomb the video. I'm gonna lead a social media campaign against it. I'm gonna make it personal. I'm gonna make it his problem. And then he's gonna rue the day.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
that guy has some controversies under his belt, right?
Yeah, probably. I don't think I've ever seen a Daft Peanut video.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He
I guess
talks.
he calls
this.
people out. Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. That his shtick is that he's monotone.
Oh, that's a great shtick.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I know that shtick very well. Well, speaking of voice acting, I wanted to briefly mention, that infamous scene in Mega Man X4. I think you talked about it before.
Oh, I mean, this can't be happening. There's no more point going on in this world.
What am I fighting for? I skipped a line, didn't I?
No, Iris, no.
I mean, there's that.
Don't hate humans, Zero.
Wait,
you can't hate humans.
I agree with the Colonel. We must fight for our independence, for we are the Repliforce.
What a fucking good game.
Well, I just wanted to mention that I was curious about listening to the original Japanese version because I heard it was better.
Yeah.
And
how could it not be?
I looked it up and it does sound way better. Here's the link to the clip if you want to listen to it.
Sure.
It's kind of a shame that the US version got really bad dubbing because I think the story to this game would have been pretty good if the dub didn't suck so bad.
It does. It does sort of just like it completely turns Iris's death into a huge meme. That said, Iris was introduced in this game, and I feel like I wouldn't really care about her regardless.
Yeah, I don't think there was the way they handled it. I don't think there was anything they could have done with the presentation to salvage the character of Iris.
Well, I mean, the performance here is actually kind of impressive because
it seems pretty.
I don't know the Japanese voice actor's name, but his screams were like gut wrenching. It was I was surprised by how good this performance was.
I'm almost there.
Yeah.
It's a good anime scream.
I love a good anime scream.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's totally good.
But have either of you played Mega Man X or Maverick Hunter X for the PSP?
Is that the remake?
Yes,
it's a remake.
Yeah. No, I have not. I have not.
The voice act. Well, I don't blame you because it was only on PSP, and I don't think they put it on any PSN store.
I just philosophically disagree with it, with the idea of like going back and remaking the game because like what was it? Because it wasn't good enough.
I agree with that. I feel like it's not. I would never really say it's definitively better than Mega Man X. It seems more like they're trying to reboot things because you've probably seen. I think I remember you talking about the Day of Sigma OVA or whatever. There's slight story discrepancies between the games, but I like the voice acting in that game a lot. The English dub. They got
in Maverick Hunter.
Yeah. They got
the thing is though is that that came out so much later that dubbing standards in anime just was way better by then.
Yeah,
you have to remember that Mega Man X4, X4 came out in '97, and most anime back then were dubbed horribly. Like if you watch a lot of anime from the time, this dubbing sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah. I think some anime had gotten a cut above this at this point, but when video games, took till Final Fantasy X for voice acting in video games to be not fucking terrible.
I learned from Mage that we didn't really get this in America, but in some countries, dubbing simply they didn't even take out the original audio. They just one person just narrated narrated the subtitles. Yeah, Mage said that when she watched Dragon Ball Z, it was just have someone's voice recorded over the unedited original Japanese audio, just sort of repeating the lines, but in Lithuanian or the native language, the vernacular.
That sounds interesting. I want to check out Lithuanian Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably be easier if it were a language you understood. But just imagine the Japanese is still there. Just someone is just One guy
It's
saying the lines.
it's like
a
it's like the
like a
PCP commentary tracks.
yeah, it's like the
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like I should do a solo Ben. I should do a solo Ben. Wait, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a solo Ben cast commentary track on one of the solo Ben casts. I'm doing it. I'm writing it
That's
down.
a great idea.
I'm 100%. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, audience.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm trying
just
to
gonna write.
think of some early video game dubs that I think are pretty good. Like Metal Gear Solid is good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's probably one of the best ones.
I'm playing the old Resident Evil games, and I actually kind of like the Resident Evil 2 dub, even though it's like corny and cheesy. Same with the other RE games, although like RE1 is kind of.
I have never played Resident Evil, any of them, but I have, there's sort of I've heard people say, sort of the goofy, like, wrong. No, it's Silent Hill. Silent Hill is the one that I hear people say that, like, James is, like, stilted and kind of objectively bad delivery actually sort of increases the uncanniness.
I've heard people talk about that as well, that, like, because Guy Seehee, I think is his name, he wasn't a voice actor, or, like, a professionally trained one. There's, like, this funny story where he was taking his daughter to a rehearsal or an audition to play the little girl in the game, Laura, I think is her name. And she didn't get the part, but they asked him to try for James, and he got the part. And I've never played Silent Hill, but I did watch a Let's Play of it years ago, so I basically know like the story, and I can comment on the performances. And I think the voice acting in that game is actuactually really good, because
That's Silent Hill 2 or the first one?
2. Yeah, I should have clarified. Because it does sort of sound like sort of stilted and odd, but in sort of a more like a homely way than like an incompetent sort of way. I don't know. Because like
I've
something
never
about
played Silent Hill either, so but I've seen that Twin is it that Twin Perfect series about the
games.
What is that series called?
Dissecting Silent Hill or something?
I don't think that's it.
Twin Peaks?
No,
that's where
Twin
the name
Perfect.
comes from.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen those Twin Perfect videos, but I have watched another video a couple years ago, basically talking about how that Twin Perfect series is inadvertently responsible for putting a lot of the blame onto this one Silent Hill producer named what's his name? Tomm Hulett.
Yeah, they go pretty hard on Tomm Hulett and that. Okay, it's called The Real Silent Hill Experience. Nate recommended it. Nate recommended it to me years and years ago. I have kind of come to I kind of think the guy's evil. I kind of think the guy is evil a little bit. the twin perfect guy. He seems like a douchebag.
That's perfect, isn't it?
Aren't there two people?
There is, but the other one like quit, and I think has like apologized for a lot of like specifically for the harassment that Tomm Hulett received.
Yeah,
but the other guy has not.
That's a shame, because like I've never even seen those videos, and I remember back in the day that like a lot. I remember people like blaming this like this producer dude, Tomm Hulett. And I watched this video a couple years ago. It's a two-parter, but like whatever.
I think you or someone else might have shown me this one. Yeah, because I didn't know anything about it. I saw the Twin Perfect one, and the Twin Perfect they say they're not doing this, but
and then they name drop.
You come away with the impression that basically this is Tomm Hulett's fault, and then. I assume that is not, like, entirely their invention. Like, I assume that, like, probably a lot of the community put the blame on him, too, and they sort of echoed that sentiment. And then but then it just reinforced it. And so my outside perspective is, oh yeah, Tomm Hulett, that guy who ruined Silent Hill. And I don't even know anything about any of this.
It seems so weird in hindsight to like foot the blame at some dude who may have had like some small amount of creative control regarding the series when it's fairly obvious that since it's a Konami game, it's like who the fuck else ruined Silent Hill but fucking Konami? They ruin everything.
Well, I was under the impression that every Silent Hill game was handled by a different team.
It was the first three or four were done by like an internal team, then that disbanded shortly after, I think. And then like the rest of them, they got done by different teams at Konami or outsourced from Konami. Way Forward actually did a couple of Silent Hills, I think, which Tomm Hulett works at Way Forward now, by the way.
Way Forward, what else did Way Forward do?
They make the Shantae series, I think, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
They're fairly well known for making like licensed games that are better than you would expect, and then like every once in a while they do an original game that's like an indie darling. They were supposed to make that Advance Wars remake that Nintendo delayed because of the Ukraine crisis, and is still not come out.
Advance Wars?
Yeah, they were remaking Advance Wars 1 and 2 for Switch.
Are they like in Ukraine or something? Is that why?
I've never played Advance Wars, but from what I understand,
I did play it back on the Game Boy Advance, and I could never beat the final stage. The Black Hole Army Sturm is too fucking hard.
Yeah.
On that final stage for kid me.
I think they delayed it partly because I mean like there was a big like war in the news, and you know the game's called Advance Wars.
Oh, because it's about war, and war is bad.
War is bad.
And everyone's like, wait a minute,
exactly.
we don't want to advance war, we want to reduce war.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
But also the main villain faction of the game is like a Russian analog, so I guess they like wanted to avoid all controversy altogether. But like, it's silly. The game is apparently completely done and has been done for months. They should just release it.
That's the thing. If you're going to wait for a moment that there's no war to release this game,
exactly,
then you're going to be waiting a long time.
Honestly, I feel like some people might get mad, but like I kind of just feel like nerds who are into war stuff would just be more excited if it's like reminds them of a current ongoing conflict. I feel like that might move units. I don't know. Move units. No pun intended. Yeah.
But I think it's since Advance Wars is made by a Japanese company, they have maybe weirder views on this compared to other developers.
Possibly.
I'm not gonna say that. I don't know. I can see why they would want to do it, but it's not like this crisis is gonna end. I mean, it's not over still.
What are you gonna do? Never release the game because of war? Because a war happened?
A silly little war? Come on, we want video games.
Exactly. Let's not lose perspective of what's really important here. Video games.
I think also it has to do with Nintendo specifically. They're very adverse to anything that is controversial. You know, they want to be family friendly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is true.
You want to know what
it's actually kind of weird that they even have a war-based game at all.
Do you know?
Well, it's kind of cartoony. I feel like that's how they get away with it until that one on the DS when it's not.
It is very cartoony, but yeah, at the same time, it is about just like regular people fucking killing each other in a fucking field of battle on operations. But at the same time, Andy doesn't know what an airport is.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah,
there's something really funny, like a really like dark coincidence with Advance Wars and like the original Game Boy Advance game. It came out, I believe, September 10th, 2001. So
no,
yeah, I'm pretty.
No, Sturm used Meteor.
I'm looking this up to get specific. I know it came out like right around 9/11.
Are you saying that intelligent systems did 9/11?
I'm not saying they didn't.
No. We couldn't prove that. Jeez.
September 10th.
Darn.
Yep. September 10th.
September 10th. Oh,
That's crazy.
If only. You know what? If only they had just done for the war in Afghanistan what they are now doing for the war in Ukraine and delayed the game, then we wouldn't have done 9/11. So maybe they're right after all.
In honor of Operation Iraqi Freedom, we are delaying Advance Wars. It will release when all the troops are gone from the Middle East.
We could have. Nintendo should have used their power. We could have ended the war so much sooner.
Because Osama bin Laden's like, well, fuck, I wanted to play that.
George W. was just like, come on. I love Andy. Come.
Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened.
Meanwhile, Saddam Hussein's in like his little hidey hole playing Elite Copy with his like little head sticking out or whatever. Just think of what all of this could have been avoided. Just if Nintendo was just a little less callous with their video game releases. I think this is them learning their lesson.
Nintendo needs to use their platform for good.
They need to be better.
Instead of copyright striking YouTubers for using video game footage, they should be copyright striking the United States government for conducting various CIA-backed coups around the world.
They need to DMCA the United States government for committing wars. I believe that is our intellectual property that you're infringing upon.
Yeah, we copyrighted
You're emulating wars. I don't know.
Did you? They didn't buy the hard copy.
They copyrighted anything that has to do with advanced warfare.
You know, speaking of the Game Boy Advance and speaking of Mega Man, I played some Zero games recently, and you know my feeling from my adolescence was that they were the best, and I'm happy to say I was right. They are still the best Mega Man games ever made.
The Zero series is a big blind spot for me. I know Krono likes them, and I know you like them, but my experience with Mega Man Zero was walking into a GameStop when I was like 7, and then in the like GBA kiosks.
It would be very challenging for a 7-year-old.
Yeah, I can't. As you'll see shortly, I think it was 03 was in like a kiosk thing.
It's just a good ass video game.
I was playing it. I think I got to a boss and then died. And I was like, well, fuck me. This is way too hard.
Had you had any experience with Mega Man before that?
Yeah, I played X back in the day. And Legends.
I feel like if you can beat the X bosses, you can beat the Zero boss.
I never said anything about beating it.
Oh, okay.
I just played it. I could probably beat it nowadays. I know there's a collection that you can get.
Yeah, the Zero and
curious.
ZX.
Yeah, I'd be curious to try it. But I know that are you playing it through like an emulator or like that collection thing?
No, I play it on the Visual Boy Advance emulator.
Word up. Okay.
I actually prefer gameplay-wise. I prefer the X 1 through 4 to the Zero series, but I think as far as the story is concerned, the Zero series is definitely it's more cohesive.
Yeah. You know, what really stands out is, like, just the fact that in the Zero games, you, like, when you're not on a mission, you're, like, in the base, and you can just walk around and talk to, like, the other people who live in the base, and the other people who are being affected by, like, the war that you're fighting. And it's, like, such an obvious thing to include, and it just makes the game a million times better. Yeah, it's
and in the first
so
one,
good.
you can actually go to the missions from the base directly without warping there.
They kind of pulled a Dark Souls where they made the first one and they gave it this really cool, like, connected sort of continuous world that was really cool. And then in 2 on, they were like, that was hard. Let's not do that again.
Kind of is hard, I guess.
Yeah. I guess it's hard, but it was appreciated. And they didn't do it again, which is fine. I guess.
But what I like from a story standpoint is just how the events of one game lead into the other one.
Yeah.
And it feels like the world and the characters are changing from a game-to-game basis, and there's development that carries over. Because the problem with the X series story-wise is that every time you beat one game, the next game starts, and it just feels like everything resets back to the default values.
Pretty much. It's like, yeah, we beat Sigma, but he's a freaking ghost in the machine now, and you can't actually beat him, so I guess he'll be back. And that's the game.
I know that Dr. Wily always came back in the Mega Man series, but it always rubbed me the wrong way that Sigma would come back in every game. For some reason, like, there was a disconnect there that it always seemed kind of cheap. Like, the second time in the second game when he comes back, okay, that's fine, because, like, he turns into, like, a data thing. That's interesting. But I think they should have, like,
there comes a point where they should have stopped.
Yeah, like, bring him back every couple of games, I guess.
Actually, I think that I haven't played it, but I think in like X7 or X8, like he comes back and he's like fucking all like fucked up looking and mutated because he's like, yeah, he just keeps coming back, but like
I think that was X6.
Yeah,
he comes back as a zombie,
but he's not the same. And it's like they knew, like we really shouldn't keep dragging this guy back, but we have to do it.
But actually, X6 technically Sigma wasn't the actual final boss. Even though you fight him as the final boss,
it
was
that
some other
guy,
like a scientist. He was a Reploid scientist. Was
Gates.
Yeah, he was the main one pulling the strings, and he revived Sigma for some reason.
Because you need to fight Sigma at the end.
Yeah, literally, Sigma has nothing to do with that one. But then at the end, he's like, "Okay, hey, you beat me. My machinations have been unraveled. Final note, I did revive Sigma, just in case. So go fight him as well. Okay, thank you. Thank you for playing.
What's crazy about that is the final battle with Sigma in that game is probably the most unnecessary in the series so far, and yet the music is probably the best Sigma battle out of any of the Sigma songs. It's like a remix of the first three. It's really good.
Yeah, I remember that. I
don't remember the
track.
music.
But actually, in I don't know if it's a spoilers to reveal it, but at the very end of X8, you don't fight Sigma, surprisingly.
It's Lumine, right? I never played X8.
I haven't played that one either. I know who Lumine is.
I always heard that it was better than 7, but like better than 7 is not really a high bar.
Yeah.
7 and 8.
Well, I think it's better than X5 and 6 as well.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
well, yeah,
wow.
X6 is kind of...
X6 is bad. I would say 5. I don't really like 5. I think 5 is where it kind of went off the deep end for me.
Yeah, I consider 5 bad, to be honest. It has an interesting story, but everything else about it sucks.
Yeah, 5's pretty whack.
Who's the bad
story,
guy in 5?
The whole canon thing where you have a random chance of getting a different ending.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's
goofy.
You can fire the cannon whenever you want, but if you beat all the stages, you have a better chance of the cannon being successflike. That said, even if you beat all the stages, you can still lose, lol.
Why not?
You can still get the bad ending.
Why not why it's like they really thought
right
they did
there.
something.
It's right there. Just like if you beat all the stages, you get the good ending. I don't know. Like, come on.
Why would you make it random? It's bizarre. Yeah, the Zero games, it's like, I don't think this is the case, but the story is tight enough that you would think that they went into it planning to make 4, and they were like, here's the plan, 1, 2, 3, 4, done. Apparently that's not the case, because I guess I read in an interview or something that, like, after X3, like, they were planning on making X3 the end, but then, like, but fans wanted to know what happened with Dr. Vile. So we had to make 4. And it's
Dr.
like...
Vile?
Weil. And it's like...
Oh, Zero. I thought you were talking about X.
Oh, no.
I was like, who the fuck is this?
In 03...
Okay.
They ended it, and, like, it literally ends with, like, Dr. Vile is back, and he's in charge now. And that's the ending. And it's like... And we were surprised. Fans were unsatisfied. Fans wanted to know what would happen with that. And it's like,
I wonder.
What did you think was going to happen?
Jeez.
And then
But
they
I
fucking
do
made it, and
like,
4 has the best fucking ending. 4 has like the
Yeah.
the best ending, the most definitive ending. They brought it to a conclusive, satisfying resolution.
Yeah, I watched Gamers Tavern's video on that ending. It seemed pretty cool.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I remember first experiencing that ending back when the game came out, and I beat it. And even back then, it was like, this is a really great ending. So then,
Yeah.
like 10 plus years later, I was still thinking about that ending. So that's why I wanted to make a video on it.
Yeah. Literally the best ending that any Mega Man game has, because it actually has one.
Yeah, they actually had the
Story-
courage to end things
Yeah.
for certain, not leave it up in the air with all the other ones that they usually do.
Well,
I
how tied in is the ZX series? I know it takes place like, isn't the plot of ZX is like it's like
Oh, God.
years and years later, and like kids, these like kids like get
Yes.
like data of Zero and X and like wear them as like armor, basically.
Yeah, that's called the biometals.
Yeah, they do a funny... Kids in the future do a funny fusion dance to call upon the power of the ancient Reploid heroes and become superheroes.
Well, when you say
It's
it like that, it sounds
Power
kind of
Rangers.
stupid.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
It's okay.
I haven't played it myself, but yeah, the plot seems very Saturday morning cartoon. Like they wanted to make a Mega Man game, but they were kind of embarrassed about what they were doing, and so they tried to like make it distant. It's I don't, but also like pretty much the whole ZX story sounds like just a big pastiche of homage. They just like
Yeah.
let's make it a
Yeah, the stories in those games are kind of underwhelming.
yeah.
But I like the concept of humans that can transform into the X and Zero heroes and stuff.
Well,
I've always been a sucker for the Super Sentai or Power Rangers concept
yeah.
of
I mean,
superheroes.
I think it's a very
But
I think it's a
it
very
was just not
silly place to
executed
take
very
the
well.
series, but I'm not like I think it's a silly place to take the series, but I'm not like completely against it. I just kind of find it amusing. Like, okay, really? That's what you're gonna do with it? I mean, all right, sure.
But it's never going to be as cool as what the Mega Man Zero series did.
It's
so
it's hard to imagine. I think
I
you
really
know
just miss Mega Man.
having played through Legends and Legends 2 recently. Yeah, Zero used to be my far and away favorite. I thought it was obviously the best games. I think it probably still is, but I think Legends is probably my second favorite.
Legends is a really...
Legends accomplishes what it sets out to do. It succeeds at being the kind of game that it's trying to be. I would say about as well.
It's got a lot of
almost
heart.
as well as the Zero's game. They do have a lot of heart.
It's really well realized. I love the aesthetic. They figured out Z targeting in a 3D game.
I realized as I was playing through Zero 2 that it really reminds me of Phenotopia. Do you know that game?
No.
It's an indie game made by some guy. It was released on Newgrounds. Like, I think it was published by Newgrounds. It's a side-scrolling platformer, but it's like pixel art based. I used to compare.
I heard you talking about this. I think.
Yeah, I used to compare it to Cave Story because it sort of looks like Cave Story, side-scrolling pixel based, and it is an action game. But like the combat is really clunky, and the moment-to-moment like gameplay of it is about a lot of it is about like finding objects and like bringing them to the people that want them in exchange for stuff. Which feels like Mega Man Legends a lot. And it's also, thinking back on it, the story of Phenotopia is about, like, delving into ruins of a mysterious origin and nobody knows where they are. And it turns out your protagonist has a secret connection to the creators of these ruins. And it's like, it's kind of...
That certainly sounds familiar.
Very, very similar now that I've played all of it.
Legends is
I
just
like,
one of those games that indie developers just really like.
I think I think probably if I went back and like read that guy's blog, he probably would mention Mega Man Legends somewhere. I feel like the connections are
I like
similar.
Mega Man Legends, but I do have issues with the controls. It has like those old-fashioned tank controls from PS1 era. I like Legends 2 controls are much better.
I think the reason I bounced off Legends as a kid was because, I liked the sort of twitchy action of Mega Man, and so I picked up Legends, and I think I found the combat really slow and clunky, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Which is a shame.
hard, to turn around and target enemies and actually attack them effectively.
Oh man,
It's interesting because like I'd say Mega Man for like on NES, Mega Man probably has some of the best feeling like platforming games on the entire library, and same with like X on Super Nintendo.
yeah.
So you would think that Legends would be like the best of the cream of the crop feeling 3D games, but even Capcom
Not even
kind of
close.
stumbled a little.
Their priorities were completely different.
But it still sort of pays off because like people really really like Legends regardless, because the aesthetic and like the world, everything else is like top notch.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do like
Yeah.
everything else about it. Like the voice acting is pretty good, and the cutscenes are fun.
it is. It is.
The game has pretty decent voice acting, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to it, and I can't remember any times when I thought the voice acting was like bad in a way that stood out. So I am forced to conclude that the voice acting was good.
There you go.
Well, it's a little cheesy. It's like a
sure.
Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no one sounds like they're asleep or are asking what they're fighting for.
Well, it's
sound
way
like
better
cartoons.
than Dr. Light from Mega Man 8.
Zero.
Of course.
Zero. If I become one of them, you have to finish me. Zero. Don't be ridiculous, X. I'm cutting off communications.
Well, if I am you, I will find out the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
a lot of,
Iris and Colonel's
but
fucking New Zealand accents. Inexplicable.
When I was a kid, I didn't realize how bad voice acting was in X4, so I actually
No.
kind of liked it back then.
Yeah.
But, now I can see it's
I still
pretty
like
horrible.
it. I think it's pretty awesome. If anything, the only problem with it is that it's too quiet. The voice acting is too quiet. I can't hear it.
Just quiet. So quiet.
I think they should have just left the Japanese voice acting and added subtitles.
Oh, like X6?
Yeah, if they were too lazy to get good dubbing, then
no
just
dubbing
do
is
that.
better than bad dubbing.
Yeah, exactly.
It depends on how like story heavy the game is, but I guess if the dub is bad, then yeah. Or something like a Mega Man X game, I don't think it really matters if it doesn't necessarily need an English dub. But I did think it was really funny that they just didn't even bother to dub X6 because they knew the game was a fucking trash.
Yeah, the issue with X5 and X6 is that they didn't even have anime cutscenes. They just had static
Stills,
images.
yeah.
So it's like they put no effort at all into the cutscenes in those games.
I didn't really even mind the static images as a kid, because all the art in the cutscenes or the stills are like on model well enough. That said, it is kind of lame that like what is supposed to be like Zero's like final hurrah is just resorted to stills.
Well, it's a step down from the anime cutscenes of X4, which were impressive to look at.
They look really cool. Like the Sigma Zero fight is like really badass.
Yeah, I think it's like the reaction to the cutscenes in 4 was bad. So instead of improving them, they were just like, we're not gonna do cutscenes anymore. Like that was a mistake.
But I don't think they were
Cranking
aware
these
of
games out
the
every 9
reactions
months.
back then. They probably didn't know the reactions until after the internet became more popular.
That's true, and it was just the English that was like terrible.
I think
so
it's just
probably in Japan it was fine.
I think it's just budgetary reasons. They just kept getting lower and lower budget.
Yeah.
It seemed like for X4 they had a pretty big budget. They wanted to go big with that one, and then with X5 and X6 they were just like they just wanted to make it really cheaply.
I'm looking this up, and apparently, the Phenotopia remake was released on Switch last year.
I was looking that up. It's on like Steam too, I guess.
I knew that they were making Phenotopia 2, but they were being developed at the same time, but apparently they have stopped making Phenotopia 2 and they're doing something else now. I don't know what that is.
At least they're still around.
Why? I don't know. Why remake it though?
Oh, artists love finding something they made early on and then like trying to improve upon it.
Oh yeah,
later on
like
with
George
skills.
Lucas.
Yeah, like George Lucas.
God, I hope he didn't George Lucas Phenotopia. I would like to play the remake just to see what is different. I know they added like cooking systems and stuff, which like could be fun. But I don't know. I feel like Phenotopia it was just fine.
Yeah, that's the issue I had with Maverick Hunter X, is that I felt Mega Man X didn't need a remake.
Right.
It was, it was a really, really good as is.
Well, I haven't played it. My impression is that it's there to like update the lore.
Sort of.
But like, I feel like the lore didn't need an update because they updated the lore in the subsequent games.
I think,
like, yeah.
I do like the Day of Sigma video.
Yeah,
But besides that, I felt everything else was kind of unnecessary.
I think it is mostly fine. It's like it's a good game on its own. I would probably never play it over the original X.
Mm-hmm.
That said, it does have like some extra stuff. Like the Vile mode is kind of cool. The only problem with it is that when you play as Vile, right? And he has, instead of like how X gets like powers from all the different Mavericks he fights, Vile has this like equipment mechanic where like before a stage you give him like certain like pieces of equipment that like changes moveset out around.
Yeah.
Just pretty cool. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's neat.
It's a neat little addition. The problem is that he has this song that plays throughout the entire game. They don't play they don't play the stage music. They play some like butt metal.
Wow.
Throughout every level, and you will
get
fucking sick of playing as Vile 2 stages in. It's really weird.
That really is a bummer.
I think it's the same song for all the stages, right?
Yep, it's the same exact song. It's some generic shitty like butt metal riff. It's so bad.
That is unfortunate.
and you don't get and there's no Zero. You don't get to play as Zero. I know he dies, but like, come on.
That seems
well.
Like
Vile also dies at the end.
Yeah, Vile dies too. So like, they could have done something to.
Yeah,
play as Zero.
Why wouldn't they make a Zero mode? That seems like such an obvious inclusion.
It does, because when you play X, there's a lot of moments where Zero says he's going to scout around or he's going to do something off screen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because he's kind of.
That's what.
So that would have been a perfect opportunity to have a Zero mode where you get to see what he does off screen.
At the beginning, he says,
I'm gonna find Sigma. He's looking for Sigma.
At Sigma's fort, I think he says like, I'll make a frontal assault on Sigma on the fortress while you X like sneak in while I distract the main forces.
Yeah,
or something like that.
It's something like that. But, well, I assume it was just like, time restraints or something, because like, Zero was a staple in all the games at that point. But if they had the time, I think it would have been cool if like, you get like a Zero mode and he goes through like remixed stages, not like 2 different, because we gotta get the game out, but like make it slightly different.
I understand that that's asking for. I understand that that's gamer entitlement to ask like, why didn't you make even more game?
Yeah.
But I feel like simply implementing another character to play through the same stages, like, I appreciate the novelty of a Vile mode. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Why would you not have a Zero mode? I don't know. It just seems like such an obvious inclusion.
Yeah.
It seems like it wouldn't have been that
I think
hard.
the intention they had was to remake the entire X series, just like how they were going to remake all the classic games with Mega Man Powered Up.
And it seems a little like George Lucasing to me. I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Powered Up is probably a better
Powered Up
reimagining.
Though Powered Up has Oil Man, and that's racist.
Oil Man, yeah.
I don't think they should have made Oil Man.
They probably shouldn't have made Oil Man.
Well, I think they changed them into purple in the US release, like with Jinx and Pokemon.
They pulled the Jinx. I see.
Yeah,
I mean, still,
I don't really care for the cutesy art style of Powered Up either.
I haven't played it, but I've seen it, and I don't see the appeal. I don't like it. I don't like what I've seen.
What I think it does better than Maverick Hunter though is that it has a lot more bang for your buck. Like you can play,
It has like a level designer.
Yeah,
right?
you can. There's like a level editor, and
That's
like,
neat.
and the play you can't play as Zero on Maverick Hunter X, but you can play as literally every Robot Master and powered up and roll.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
If you could play as Chill Penguin in Maverick Hunters,
if
that would be
only.
sick. That would be so sick.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're playing as Spark Mandrill trying to like go through the little boss doors.
That
Hmm.
would
He just
be,
has like
quite
that
a
little
sight.
fist charge. It
But obviously, if you're going to play as any Robot Master and powered up, you have to play as Oil Man.
yeah.
I just can't relate to a character of a different race than myself. It would be woke to play as Oil Man. I'm sorry. This is terrible. I'm ashamed of myself. Remake's bad. Remake's bad, and I disagree with them philosophically.
Yeah, well, kind of, I guess. I
What
was
do you-
playing the Resident Evil remakes recently. I just beat Resident Evil 2, and everyone really likes that one, and I just started 3, and I know everyone does not like that one. Having played the older ones, I feel like I have recently, rather. I feel like I have a pretty good like frame of reference to quantify what is good about the remake and what isn't, etc., etc. And I liked Resident Evil 2 remake. I don't know if I liked it as much as the original, but it feels it still kind of justifies itself in my head because it's a pretty significant reimagining of the events of that game, and has enough going on where I can kind of see them existing concurrently. Like I would never say like, oh, don't play the original, just play the remake.
Okay.
For Resident Evil 2, I would say like play both because they're both good games.
What's different?
Well, obviously it's a big fucking budget 3D
Right.
AAA game now. It's got the over the shoulder camera.
Okay. The original was like pre-rendered.
Yeah,
graphics
it was
and tank
pre-rendered
controls, right?
backgrounds and tank controls.
So that's like a completely different.
Yeah,
play
it
experience.
plays completely differently, and like
Yeah.
the layout of the police station and the other levels are different to some degree.
Mhm.
It's a lot like there was this section in the game. Let's see how we can reincorporate it in like a new way. So there was a lot of stuff I was seeing where I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of this part of this game of Resident Evil 2, and now it's like this. Okay, that's kind of cool.
It plays like Resident Evil 4.
Here's the thing, like people always say that, and I guess it's sort of similar in the sense that like it's third person shooters over the shoulder, but like the way you're meant to play in Resident Evil 4 is completely different from the later remakes, because like in RE4 the game like just like showers you in ammo, at least on the normal difficulty. It showers you in ammo, and it gives you all the opportunity in the world to like shoot the guys and then like tackle them to the ground and stuff. You're basically encouraged to just like kill everything, and it's fun. Like Resident Evil, I replayed Resident Evil 4 recently, and like that game is so fucking good. It is like
I remember Resident Evil 4 coming out and getting like 10 out of 10s in Game Informer.
Yeah, it was one of those games that got like critically acclaimed way back in the day, and it basically like wrote the book on like third person shooters back then.
Yeah.
But so like you would expect like, well, it probably hasn't aged that well, it's kind of the first to really do a lot of these things, and it really hasn't. It just feels so fucking good. I don't know how to describe it. So I have high hopes for the RE4 remake, and I would even if it comes out and is great, I would still recommend people play the original because
But
it's
I feel like remaking Resident Evil 4 seems kind of unnecessary.
it kind of is. I'm not gonna say it isn't, because the game holds up perfectly fine nowadays. I feel like they're just kind of doing it to do it, But if the game comes out good, then it's it's two good games, right?
that's how I feel about the Pokemon remakes now.
I think that's
Diamond and Pearl. Did we really need Shining Diamond and Glistening Pearl or whatever?
No.
I think the video game industry is kind of headed to where the movie industry was, where they're just remaking a lot of old stuff because they can't come up with anything new that's good.
Is it like the squatters' rights thing, right? Like you've got an IP, but if you don't do something with the IP, you can lose the rights to it. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure the Pokemon company doesn't have that problem, but
well, I feel like
you gotta keep the brand relevant by releasing something every so often.
I'm thinking of like Square. They made a lot of Final Fantasy games that everybody hated, so then they were like, well, everybody likes Final Fantasy VII, so let's just release nothing but Final Fantasy VII games until forever, I guess.
That's kind of how it feels. I know that they do I guess 14 is a pretty big hit.
Yeah. 14's its own completely different beast.
But I think 14 initially everybody hated it, but then Square updated it and massively changed it, and now it's people like it.
It got a new producer, and the guy basically turned the ship around and turned it into their biggest cash cow.
It's wild that is possible.
It's one of those like 1 in a million big success stories for something like that. I mean, it's I think it's a more popular MMO these days than even WoW, which is WoW.
I definitely hear more people talking about 14. Like,
me too.
It feels like the first time in a long time that like an MMO has felt like relevant, like people are talking about it. Which is shocking. Kind of never thought that would happen again. And
it seems deserved. All
but here's the thing. Why would you name your MMO Final Fantasy 14 and then release a single player game that's Final Fantasy 15?
I always had a chip on my shoulder
it's such a weird
when 11 came out and it was an MMO. It always perplexed me. They should have just called it Final Fantasy Online.
I know.
And the fact that they did it obvious. 2 times, means that they thought it was a good idea, So,
they were just really so stupid. Committed to the numbering system.
Yeah.
We can't
Too late
now. Too late now. Sorry. We called the other one 11, so we gotta do the same one. If we don't do it, people won't take the game seriously. If we call it anything other than Final Fantasy number, people will think that's an admission of failure. We're saying this is a fake game.
That was probably their thought process when making when making 11.
I think so. They're like, if we call it Final Fantasy Online, people will see it as a side project. We gotta get people to play it by calling it 11. You haven't played all the Final Fantasies unless you've played 11. Play it.
Which is like a shame, because from what I understand, 11 holds up perfectly fine on its own. It's a pretty well-liked game.
Yeah.
I don't think it really needed to be 11, but and this is really, it's just like a name at this point. It doesn't really matter.
Right. But it is strange.
It is. It is. And it does bug me.
It's just so stupid from a marketing standpoint because, Final Fantasy 14 is supposed to outlast 15 and 16 and, until the next online one. So it seems dumb to tie it to an old number,
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
I mean, I assume if it's successful, I assume they intend to eventually make a Final Fantasy 18 or whatever that is another MMO.
They're going to continue drilling into this bad idea,
You think it's a bad idea? Or you mean the numbering system? It's a horrible idea.
I'm shocked they're still numbering them. They're like one of the only companies that still does that.
Yeah, at some point, other ones start to not hyphenate. They start to use colons.
Yeah, they start that. They get like embarrassed of the number. Like Final Fantasy 7. Fuck, there's 7 of these. How embarrassing! Final Fantasy.
They can't all be the final one.
Yeah.
Let's make a Control-Alt-Delete webcomic about that show.
Just fucking jerk off motion.
How can they all be the Final Fantasy?
Thank you, Penny Arcade. Very cool.
What were we talking about?
Oh, fucking tie it back to Resident Evil. Resident Evil 7 is called Resident Evil Biohazard, but the
Right.
the VIL in 7 is like accented, so it looks like a 7 in the evil. And Biohazard is the Japanese name to Resident Evil. So what's the name of Japan? It's called Biohazard Resident Evil 7. Wow. And then they have Resident Evil Village, where they do the thing again where it's Roman numerals 8 in the village. Isn't that clever?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, because VILL.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, well, that's
It's cute. It's
pretty
cute.
That's pretty cute. Yeah, no, they did it.
I think Japanese companies are one of the only ones that do this kind of thing. You know, where they have a number into like they release so many sequels with numbered titles. Because I can't think of like Western equivalents to that.
Well, you got the Wizardry games. Those got to like 9 or something. Same with Ultima. But those are pretty old.
That got to like 16.
True. I think Final Fantasy might be the one, unless there's like some obscure like shitty shovelware game that's on like Mahjong number 70 or something.
Bloons.
Yeah, Bloons got to like 6 tower defense games.
Okay, not even as many as I thought. Wait, what's that one? What's that like turn-based Flash game with the anime characters?
You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
You have to be more specific.
It has the slimes. Oh god, this isn't narrowing it down at all.
Adventure Quest?
No, it's sort of feels like Adventure Quest. Oh god, this is gonna haunt me.
Ragnarok Online.
So your main character is like a blonde pirate guy who like summons swords. It was on Newgrounds. He summons lots of swords. Oh god!
Sounds like a combination of One Piece and Final Fantasy.
The side character, the cute side character, is a slime, but he's like a little cat Neko slime or something like that. Oh no! Sword Quest. Sword Adventure.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anime Quest Adventure Sword. I can't handle it. Google pirate anime cat slime sword summon quest.
God help you.
Give me, please.
This is going to be the hardest thing to find.
I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna freaking lose it. Wait, I'll add Newgrounds to the list. Battle something. Jeez.
I never played many Newgrounds Flash games back in the day.
I played
Found
my
it.
fair
Epic
share.
Battle Fantasy. Epic Battle Fantasy.
I think I actually remember hearing about that one.
Let me post a screenshot.
What a generic name.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, probably. Is Cloud Strife unlockable?
I think you should win an award for finding this one.
Epic Battle Fantasy. Pow. Blammo.
Oh, jeez.
Hell
this
yeah.
reminds
This
me
is
of,
very mid-aughts.
It reminds me of Maple Story.
It does.
It's
We have Dragon Quest at home.
yeah, it's not really like that. I mean, it looks like that, but it's got that frickin' chibi how to draw anime style, but it is it's just a side-scrolling. I mean, it's a turn-based. It's basically just a turn-based RPG like battle gauntlet with no like. I mean, there is a story, but like it's just about using big magic to do big attacks
Wait,
on enemies.
It sounds like Phantom's Revenge.
I was gonna say it's Phantom's Revenge, but good.
Damn.
Yeah, it's got Phantom's Revenge only has one sword.
Oh man, it's been so long since I've listened to the PCP and I was catching up, and I just recently got past Ben releasing Phantom's Revenge, so I gotta ask.
It's like 4 months ago.
The post-mortem, how does it feel 4 months out from release?
the postmortem is, it got I think it got like it's accrued like 500 downloads now, which is that's nice.
Cool.
I think the game came out good, came out pretty much exactly how I wanted it to, which, I mean, what more can you ask for? My goal is because I'm still trying to get the book printed, and when I do the Kickstarter, I'm hoping that the Kickstarter is a big success and gets eyes on it, and maybe some more people check the game out from hearing about it through that. That's my hope, anyway.
Are you still considering that idea of scraping out the Sonichu references to make it more palatable, or was that just a slight musing from months gone by?
That would be, if I did that.
I assume that would take a lot of work, I feel like.
It would, it would just be a matter of changing sprites and changing some dialogue. If I did something like that, it would basically I would basically just create a sequel. I would just make another game that had similar like systems and just different enemies or something, which I don't have any immediate plans to do. Yeah, I did think about like, should I scrape this of Sonichu stuff because Sonichu is brand poison, and I think like it wouldn't be the same game. So if maybe I would come back to it and make basically a different game or a different version that is its own thing, that is not Sonichu related.
You'd be able to use a lot of the code base still, right?
I could like assets.
Or just like the way the game works.
Yeah, I could definitely recycle a lot of it into. There's a lot I could reuse.
I don't see why you have to remove the Sonichu references since they're all like enemies and bad guys.
I don't know. My thought at the time, and I think it probably has some truth to it, is just that like any association with Sonichu at all to a certain kind of person, that's like just so hideous, just so hideously off-putting, and like basically synonymous with all sorts of negative things.
I'm just thinking, it's like if the bad guys were Nazis, you wouldn't say like, "Oh man, I gotta get rid of all these Nazis. I don't want to have any references."
I don't think it's the same because
everybody
knows what World War II is.
If it stands to reason that if you are putting Sonichu in your game, then you know what a Sonichu is, which means you know about Chris Chan, and some people just like don't want anything to do with that at all. And everyone knows what a Nazi is.
Everybody knows what a Nazi is, and Nazis are like a relevant historical villain. If you're making Sonichu related content, you are choosing to put this in front of people. You're making choices, and they're bad choices, and people don't appreciate it. And that's what I did.
But to be fair, you did it at a time, in a different time when it wasn't.
Times.
I know what you mean. I think there is some cringe factor. There's a cringe factor with Sonichu that, like, if you are describing the game and it's like, oh, it has Sonichus in it, in any extent, people will be like, well, that's cringe. That makes the game cringe. Which, honestly, I get it. How I feel.
Wasn't that always the case, though? Like, anything related to Sonichu was always cringe, even, before current events.
Listen, there's people. I mean, that like Sonichu redrawn. Someone like redrew it from Rosachu's perspective.
No, I don't know that, but
so someone redrew like a chapter of it from Rosachu's perspective, and like that redraw had good art, and it was like rewritten to be good, and it was like the person that made it was talented, and they did a good job, and it's a good comic. However, it's still Sonichu, and it's still like, I don't know, I think to a certain extent, it's like, this idiot wasted their time making Sonichu content. Like, what a freak. Disgusting.
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel, a little part of me feels that way about myself. So,
Well, shucks.
I contain multitudes, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
But
So
don't worry about it. At least you didn't waste like 15 years writing 500 reviews.
I will waste my time doing something. I swear to God. Don't you doubt it.
I want to talk about those for a second, because I've been meaning to say this for a while, and since you, Gamers Tavern, are on this podcast with me, I suppose I can now. I actually went back and I was looking at some of your like old your on your website, like your old like blog posts or like your reviews or whatever, just like your writings, I guess. And I guess I don't really know what I expected, but you're really mean in those. I've noticed.
Really?
Yeah,
that was a different time.
It's really
read a lot. I haven't read a lot of your text reviews.
Gamers Tavern's text posts were like, because you hear him on the podcast and he's a pretty mild-mannered guy. He's a little corny, like funny corny jokes. So I expected like some dry, witty sort of like deadpan analysis of some sort, but he's a lot fierier. The fire in his heart burned bright, I'd say. I feel like that was sort of just indicative of the time. And
like
just being
it was
younger.
like it was an era of angry reviews and an era of like insulting something.
Yeah. I mean,
I get it.
He's right here, so I guess he could speak for himself. But
It was well, that was I started the site nearly 20 years ago, so I was different back then, and it was different. When I first started writing, I kind of had a bit of a persona on my website. It was different.
That's what I figured. That's what that was.
It was different from how I am in person. So it was kind of like a Maddox, Maddox. It's kind of like that kind of thing. But I didn't know who Maddox was at the time, so I thought I was being completely original.
It's hard for me to imagine you with like a I'm being mean gimmick. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was being kind of mean and cynical and egotistical and narcissistic, but I was kind of doing it in like a self-deprecating way as part of the joke.
It's so funny.
So I did that for a while, but then when I realized Maddox already did that before I did, I kind of stopped because
I guess that is a bit.
I didn't want people to accuse me of copying him.
Yeah. People probably accuse Maddox of copying someone else.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like Maddox copycat writers that used to exist back then in like 2005.
I'm sure Maddox wasn't the first person to like do comedy in a sort of like I'm being an over the top asshole on purpose sort of way.
Yeah, probably not.
Who would they have compared him to? Who would contemporary critics have compared Maddox's comedy to at the height of his power?
Seanbaby, I guess.
That's another one.
Did Seanbaby exist when Maddox was writing the best page in the universe?
Yeah, Seanbaby was like late 90s.
Yeah, Maddox started, I think, in 97.
Was he?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't. Okay,
I'm not super knowledgeable on Seanbaby.
I still don't know anything about. I genuinely, I don't even know who it is. I've heard the name. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's like an old internet writer. I'd say it's like him and Maddox are like kind of like old guard that are somewhat still around. I think didn't Seanbaby like found Cracked or something?
I don't know.
I'm not sure what Seanbaby did later, but I know, I think he used to write for EGM or something. He used to be a video game magazine writer. Then he started writing on the internet.
Are there any stand-up comedians that have a persona that's like, oh, I'm mean to children, like dead baby jokes? Yeah,
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, dead baby jokes. That was the Andrew Dice Clay's thing, wasn't
it? I'm not familiar with the man's work, but perhaps.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think most male comedians, you could probably find them making a joke about how they hate kids.
I'm just saying, Maddox's shtick came come spring fully formed
Yeah,
from him.
yeah.
I'm sure he was influenced by comedians and stuff, but he was probably the first like major internet person to do that style of humor, because he started in the late '90s, and
Yeah.
the internet barely existed back then.
I know
This
that
website
my
kicks ass.
friends. I know that my friends were really into Maddox when he was running the best page in the universe.
Well,
Oh my
a lot of his
God.
old writing, I think, was pretty good for the time, and some of it still holds up. I don't know why he like stopped and started doing other weird, stupid nonsense.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe he'd run that shtick into the ground. I mean,
And
he was
even,
doing it for a long time.
He started doing YouTube videos later, and those
Yeah.
weren't as good as the articles, but some of them were fine, I guess.
They were pretty
Mhm.
popular, though.
Yeah.
I
I don't know
remember
why
them
he
getting
didn't
spread
continue
around a
doing
lot.
them, because they were getting good views, and some of them were okay. Some of
Yeah.
them were decent.
He
I think,
famously had that cuck one, which
Yeah, that one is
kinda
kind of-
started a lot of things.
Yeah, that one wasn't that great, but there were a couple of other ones that were fine. I think
Yeah.
just the
I
issues he
watched
was
them.
having with Dick Masterson maybe demoralized him, and he didn't want to work, on
Yeah.
content anymore.
It's funny, I still see him every once in a while, just like on a scant Twitter post every now and then. I'm just like, oh yeah, he's still around, huh? So, there's that.
I'm reading an article by Seanbaby from February 12th, 2012, called 4, quote, geek humor books by authors who understand neither.
I'm
possible,
already laughing.
It's possible Maddox was inspired by Seanbaby, Sure.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
I'd
I don't
say
think
they're
I ever heard him mention
contemporaries.
Seanbaby, but I'm sure he knows of him.
Yeah.
Here's a sample from this article. I guess this is a real book that's being reviewed.
Tell
This is
yourself
very
away.
it's kind of like Maddox's thing, but Seanbaby did it first.
Hmm.
So this
Write
kind
a
of thing was
book?
real
Yeah,
popular
Sean
back
Baby
then.
already did that, pal. Sorry.
No, Seanbaby didn't write this book. He's
Oh.
lampooning. This is a real book from 1993 by some guy,
John
and
Byrne.
he's featuring. It's being featured here. As
Yeah,
an example
it's
of
like
what's
when
wrong with
Maddox
society.
reviews an old book or something, and
Oh my god.
Maddox did an article reviewing old book covers, I think.
Yes, that was wasn't that one of the that was one of the bases for one of his books that he sold, or no, that he like made fun of kids' drawings in one of them. How do you get?
What do you get when you cross Pac-Man with a sweater? An alpaca sweater.
Oh, jeez.
Woo!
I think we
Yeah,
found where Gamers Tavern gets his jokes from.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maddox was inspired by Seanbaby. Gamers Tavern was inspired by good old John Byrne.
Yeah,
I mean,
much.
like a titan of the industry.
Well, those were different times.
I gotta tear my eyes away. I can't read this whole article right now. That's just rude. That's just rude to my listeners and my guests.
I haven't been posting on the website much lately, but I do make YouTube videos sometimes.
I saw
Yeah.
you made a video talking about or showing off all of the enemy descriptions in Mario RPG, and you got Cybershell to voice them.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's
That sounds
my latest one.
that sounds great. I want to see that video.
Yeah, that was a very time-consuming project.
I could see that. Got some decent views.
Okay, I'm gonna check this one out.
Yeah,
Enemy
so-
thoughts in Mario RPG.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
In Mario RPG, you have this ability where you can see the enemies.
Yes,
monologue.
psychopath.
Yeah,
Very interesting name for that.
Mallow's psychopath ability. I remember I asked when I was a kid. My dad is a psychologist, And I played that game and I saw that ability and I didn't know what that word meant. And I asked my dad, like, hey, what does that mean? And he seemed disturbed by the question.
Well, I feel like it's some sort of mistranslation, because shouldn't it be called like telepathy or something? Because Mallow's reading the guy's minds, right?
Yeah, it would be is it?
Yeah, the name doesn't make sense.
Is it what's the word when you read people's thoughts? It's not clairvoyance. It's
not telepathy. Telepathy is telekinesis, right? Or like
no, telepathy is when you can speak with your mind.
Yeah.
But reading other people's thoughts is there's a specific word.
It's not. Is it clairvoyance?
No, clairvoyance I think is like seeing and
the future,
hearing No, it's seeing at a distance. You're clairvoyant if you can like see what's happening somewhere else from where you are. I think so. Wait. Clairvoyance is...
That's how it works in Psychonauts. So.
Oh, perceiving things or events in the future or beyond normal sensory contact. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, I guess it does include the future.
Regardless, I saw the ability Psychopath in Mario RPG, and I thought I was going to get some fucking badass sicko mode move, and then I just got the bestiary move. Basically.
Okay. No, you were right. Telepathy encompasses both speaking with the mind and hearing others with your mind. So there you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Telepathy is what they should. I don't know. I don't know why it's called that. It's pretty baffling.
But I actually I think the last time I was on the PCP, I mentioned I was working on a new project. A video.
Probably.
And I don't remember if it was on the episode or off the episode, but I described...
Let me see your channel.
I kind of like described it ambiguously. You know, so this is that video I was working on. That was months ago. Because I basically wanted to make a video that would contain, you know, the old Gamers Tavern humor, but wasn't a Let's Play video. Because Let's Plays aren't really that popular anymore.
So you mean it's this Mario one?
Yeah. So,
listen, I'm excited because Mario RPG is one of my favorite games ever, and I don't know, I want to hear jokes about the things that are in it. I'm the market for this.
That was basically the inspiration, was to pick a game that a lot of people like, but show something off about that game that a lot of people don't know about, including people who do like it.
I'm certain there are some messages in here that I've never read before.
Yeah, and then also combine that with the Gamers Tavern humor that everybody knows and loves.
Okay, we'll link that in the description. I will watch that after the podcast is over. I want to consume that content.
It was a pretty ambitious project, because I had to go through all the enemy dialogue, which was, I think there's around 210 lines.
Is there, I was going to ask how many there are. There's 210. Do you do, like, commentary on each one?
I kind of do, like, a quick rapid-fire joke or comeback on each one. I don't want to spend too much time on each one because the video is already 28 minutes. As it is.
I understand.
So I got Cyber Shell to read the enemy lines.
So
that way it's he reads a line and then I respond to it. Basically the gist of the video.
It's on my list.
He did a lot of work, so
yeah.
Major thanks to Cyber Shell.
Yeah.
You have to read 210 lines, so that's quite an ordeal.
Man, I want to read lines. I want to read lines in people's videos.
And I was pretty surprised how quickly he got all the lines done. Because I kind of just asked them, and then by like a day later, or a couple of hours later, he was done with all of them.
Oh wow!
Does Cybershell just like? I hear his voice popping up in a lot of videos. Does he just like? I don't know. Does he like advertise that like that's something he does, or do just a lot of people ask him to do that?
I
Just
think
'cause
they
they've
just
heard-
ask him.
Just because they've heard him in other stuff, and they were like, "Let's get that guy."
I don't know, but I got him because well, first of all, I know him, and we know each other, and I was inspired actually to make this video from one of his videos. He did a video on the NPC dialogue in Sonic Adventure, and that's where I got the idea for this
Oh.
video.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen that Cybershell video.
I think it came out like last year or something.
I feel like I would have seen it, but I don't really remember it. But okay.
So he just seemed pretty appropriate, and he's pretty good at reading lines. He has a way of doing it that's kind of funny. So that's what I needed. I needed a funny reading of enemy dialogue in Mario RPG.
What we need is a Mario RPG remake. We need that remake. We need an HD. We need over the shoulder 3D.
Actually,
on the Switch.
when I was a kid, I was really disappointed that we never really got a sequel to Mario RPG.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, Paper Mario is supposed to be like the sequel, but it's totally different. It doesn't feel anything like the original.
I'd say Mario and Luigi series is closer to capturing the Mario RPG feel, especially since like Alpha Dream was made of Mario RPG devs.
Yeah,
So it kind of has a similar. I mean, it doesn't play the same because you play as
similar.
Mario and Luigi instead of like a
Yeah, it
party
is more
member,
similar,
party
but
cast.
it's still not quite the same.
No,
There's
it's
something
not.
missing.
I always was just like, why wasn't there another one? And I didn't get a PlayStation, or I didn't get a N64, so I couldn't play Paper Mario or Paper
Yeah.
Mario. Was Paper Mario 2 on the N64?
It was on GameCube.
Okay, well I didn't get one of those either. Yeah.
I'm a little younger, so I was more attached to Paper Mario. I only played Mario RPG when it came on like Virtual Console, and I thought it was all right.
I did eventually go back and play the Paper Mario games, and they're good, and I like them. But
I do
but
like,
they're not the same.
I do like the Paper Mario games as well, but they
And of course-
they lack the feel of Mario RPG. But I guess
And
the good thing,
I did have
and
a
now they
Game
lack-
Boy Advance, so I did play. I think I played at least the first Mario Bro. Wait, what's the?
Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Yeah, that's good.
well,
I like
the
game a
good
lot.
thing I guess about Mario RPG not really having a real follow up is that it will remain forever distinct.
Yeah, it's unspoiled.
There's nothing like it, and it seems like there will never be anything like it. Either.
I mean, can you imagine? I don't know. I don't even know if I would want them to like try to follow it up. You
yeah,
can't-
that's a good point. Sometimes a sequel or a bunch of sequels can kind of ruin the legacy of the original.
especially now, like 30 years later. I don't know. I just think like they couldn't do it. They whoever made that game is no longer. They're no longer the same. Those same people don't exist.
Exactly.
The world is such a different place that just it would never be the same. So whatever. Just there's no hope of ever like fully recapturing the magic exactly. So just leave it.
Yeah, it's always going to be different.
Yeah.
I think the reason for that is because Mario RPG was co-developed by Square, and Paper Mario was
there
made
was
just by Nintendo. So it lacked,
intelligent systems.
it lacked that Square touch.
Yeah.
And Square is also a
there's no
different company
Culex.
now.
Yeah, Culex isn't in it.
There's no Culex. It can't. Mario's RPG is not, or Paper Mario is not the sequel because there's no Culex. I mean, I don't know. Did Square like write the dialogue? I don't know how to.
Didn't Krono, you might know this. It didn't the Final Fantasy VI localizer Ted Woolsey write the dialogue for Mario RPG?
Well,
I
you mean
think
he
so.
translated it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Yeah, translated it. I
it's-
think
it's,
so, but I'm not
for
positive.
all intents and purposes his dialogue in the English version.
I know
Because
Ted
Yeah.
Woolsey,
he's known for
he did Final Fantasy VI and also Secret of Mana.
yes.
Maybe he did more RPG, but I'm not positive.
Let's see.
I
That's
think
I know Ted Woolsey.
But I think maybe Square wrote the script for the game, the original Japanese script.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I kind of doubt the Nintendo
Yes. He did.
Okay.
he did translate Mario RPG.
Yeah, that makes sense because he translated most of the Square's big games back then.
Yeah.
Seems like Mario RPG was his last translation job for them.
I think I read
'cause-
in an interview with, I think it was Shigeru Miyamoto, that he said that originally Square wanted Mario to have a sword, and
Yes. No,
he was
didn't-
against
didn't-
that, so he told them to change it into a hammer or something.
Wait a minute. The story I heard was like he was presenting it at like a conference or something, and this sounds fake. This sounds like a fake story. But he was like giving a presentation to an audience, and he showed like a slide of Mario with a sword and a slide of Mario with the hammer, and like they like the audience cheered louder for the hammer or something. I swear I read that somewhere.
I didn't hear it like that, but I don't know, maybe that's what happened.
That sort of sounds like another story with Miyamoto from around that time when Rare was making Donkey Kong 64. They gave, you can see this in pre-release footage, so this is real, this happened. You can see Donkey Kong with like a realistic gun, because you know he has the coconut gun that fires in spurts. Well, originally they were just gonna be real guns, and Miyamoto, when they showed it to Miyamoto, he was apparently really like surprised and like offended that they would give him a gun, which fair enough.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
So instead, like when he saw that, he like came back with like a little quick drawing of him with like a coconut gun instead, and they just did that.
Yeah.
So it sort of sounds similar to that story. I don't know if you got like stories mixed up or anything, but I could totally see something like that happening, because like 90s game development was fucking wild.
Yeah. Hey, you want to know a fact? When translating Super Mario RPG, Woolsey wanted to name Punchinello James Bomb, though the idea was nixed. One reference to James Bond, Punchinello introducing himself as the name's Nello, Punchinello, remains in the final game. So that's...
I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
That is...
I would be curious to know what if someone has ever retranslated Mario RPG to be more quote unquote
a more faithful translation,
and to see if the translation is just like really dry and lame, and that like Woolsey is what kind of helped to make that game's like style feel so unique.
That would be really interesting. Actually,
well, I heard that was a case for Paper Mario. The original Japanese script was boring, and then the translators they added a lot of humor and references that weren't in the original script.
I know there's a few stories like that where like the original script was just kind of bland, and it was quote unquote punched up in localization for better or for worse. Mostly for better.
I think that was maybe mostly in the Thousand Year Door, the sequel.
I could see that, yeah, because that game was not to say that the original Paper Mario wasn't funny or anything or charming, because it was, but like Thousand Year Door was a lot quippier, I'd say, in a good way. I like Thousand Year Door. Who doesn't like Thousand Year Door?
Also, in the last few years, I found out something that I didn't know about Mario RPG, was that the soundtrack was composed by Yoko Shimomura, I think her name is. She's the one that did Kingdom Hearts soundtracks later on.
And Street Fighter 2.
Oh my god.
She's like video game royalty. She's very, very good at what she does.
She's been doing it for a long time.
I meant
that's
Mario
what Krono
Luigi.
just said.
I meant Mario and Luigi. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to think that Mario RPG was done by the typical Square composer of the time. His name is Nobu Uematsu.
Yeah, Uematsu.
Yeah.
So I didn't know it was actually Yoko that did it. until recently. But it makes sense because it does sound like her music. She has kind of like a signature style.
Shimamura also did what else did you say?
Kingdom Hearts. That's what she's most known for nowadays. But she also did a Legend of Mana for the PS1.
Okay.
She's
and actually, there's a track in Legend of Mana that sounds exactly like a Mario RPG track.
Which Mario RPG track?
It sounds like the Mushroom Kingdom one.
Okay.
It's the Magic City track from Legend of Mana. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm trying to remember how the is that?
I know that one.
Mario Kingdom or the Mushroom Kingdom? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah. Hey, fuck Mario RPG. Fuck that chest that you can only get in that one room by jumping on that one toad's head that runs through the room one time, and you can never get the chest again.
Yeah, I remember.
And then
that.
your radar beeps for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that always stumped me as a kid.
I never know this. Her first project was Live Alive, which just got a remake recently.
What
yeah,
is
I think
Live
I found out
Alive?
recently that she did the soundtrack to that game.
Live Alive was a JRPG made by Square Enix. It never came out over here. It was only in Japan for Super Nintendo. It was directed by the Final Fantasy IV guy. That's what he did after. And it's basically like you play as like 8 different like characters in different like scenarios, and it has like sort of like a grid-based combat. I think you would like it, Ben.
I'm looking it up right now.
I beat this game actually on an emulator back in like 2003 or 4, maybe 2005.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those like great like top 5 RPG or games you never got. One of those games. I want to play it.
Yeah, it got a fan translation years ago. That's how I beat it back then. It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting.
I am listening to this track. It does sound. Yeah, I can definitely hear the similarity with the Mushroom Kingdom. Oh
yeah. Actually, I played Legend of Mana when I was younger, and I never made the connection between this track and Mario RPG until now for some reason.
Yeah,
but it does sound very similar.
Legend of Mana is the PlayStation one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out, I think, in either 99 or 2000. I think it was 2000.
I always get Legend of Mana mixed up with Dawn of Mana, which I think is the PS2 one. That's apparently really bad.
I never played that one. I rented Legend of Mana one time, and I played it a little bit, and I didn't really get into it. And I had Sword of Mana on the Game Boy Advance, which I think is sort of a remake of, like, Seiken Densetsu 1.
Yeah, it's a remake of that, which was released here as Final Fantasy Adventure on the Game Boy.
Right, yeah. It's a big remake. They changed a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty different.
Yeah. Video games.
I love them.
I have to pee. I will be back in a second.
Go right ahead.
Well, Legend of Mana is pretty interesting because it plays like Secret of Mana, but I think the gimmick is that every time you beat an area or a quest, you can place a building on the map, and you can choose where you place the building. And depending on how you place the buildings, it affects certain elements in the game.
The Mana series always seemed really interesting to me, but I've only played Secret of Mana for a little bit, and Secret of Mana's, I mean, it's a game. But I also played.
I remember watching your Children of Mana review.
Yes, I have very extensive knowledge of Children of Mana, which is probably not the best first impression to the series.
Yeah, I played that a little bit when it first came out, and then I think in the last few years I went back and I beat it. Yeah, I revisited it. And it's okay, but it's kind of repetitive, I think.
Yeah, the gameplay is really it really wears itself out very shortly. I don't know. There is something sort of captivating about it, or at least there was when I was a kid, and it looks really pretty. But I it was one of those games I beat because I had, not because I really liked it. And
It's
I made a video on it.
it kind of is pretty fun for the first dungeon or two, but then after that, it becomes way too samey.
Especially since they expect you to do like side quests where it just go through those levels again.
Yeah,
Which is it's like, I'd rather
it does kind of
not.
feel a little bit like one of those, I guess, quick cash-ins because it's like they worked hard on the assets and building the core of the game, but then the rest of it is just copy and pasted side quests.
Yeah. And the story isn't really anything to write home about either.
But in my opinion, one of the best mana games I think is Seiken Densetsu 3, which it
Trials,
got
Trials of Mana.
localized right as Trials of Mana here.
That was another one of those games that kind of like Live Alive was one of those like never ever games, which is amazing that it got localized.
Yeah, I beat that game in 2014 because it got a fan translation. I think around that time, maybe a few years earlier.
It hadn't before?
No, actually, it had an old fan translation from the early 2000s.
Oh, it was like a shitty one though.
And I just didn't get around to beating it until 2014.
All right.
And I published a review on it on my website back then. That's the only reason I remember I beat it in 2014 because that's when the review was written. So that one is really good. I was very impressed by it.
It's something I want to try. I bought that Mana collection a couple of years ago, and I played a little bit of Trials or Seiken Densetsu 3. I was playing with my brother though, and the do co-op in a game like that, you kind of have to like align schedules, and then it's like, if I want to play and he doesn't want to play, kind of shit out of luck. So it just kind of never really got off the ground.
Yeah,
I played it. Oh, welcome back.
Yes.
That's the issue with these games is that if you can line up your schedule so that you can play with a friend or two every time, it's probably going to be like one of the greatest experiences. But if you can't do that, most people can't do that, then it's not going to be as good. But it's still pretty fun as single player.
What are we talking about now?
Trials of Mana, Seiken Densetsu 3. It was a Mana game that came out on the Super Nintendo, but never came out over here. Until like a couple of years ago when Square like dug up the ROM and localized it. And remade
I'm not sure
too.
why
They
Square
remade
did
the game.
that, but
Thanks,
it's
Square.
pretty nice of them.
Yeah, it was surprisingly out of character.
Charitable.
Yeah, charitable. Because they were remaking the game, so they really had no reason to bother localizing the original.
I see.
But they did. So cool. Now we have two versions of the game. Awesome.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I beat that one in 2014 and also published a review for it back then.
Yeah. And it's a really pretty game too.
Hang on, wait. Trial of Mana?
Yeah, Trials of Mana. There's the Super Nintendo version, the 3D remake they made. I think I heard it was pretty good, but it's definitely kind of low rent compared to like your Final Fantasy VII remakes.
Yeah,
but that's okay. Not everything needs to be like a huge dick.
Well, I prefer the original
AAA.
artwork. I think the original art is fantastic.
Yeah, because at the time this was like the big dick AAA experience. Because this is like some of the best looking like sprite art on Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
it's a Square game, so
and the music's pretty nice too.
yeah. I should give this a try.
Is this the one where you turn into a werewolf?
I think that's one of the characters.
Yeah, one of the characters is named Kevin, and he turns into a werewolf at night, and he gets really strong.
His name is Kevin.
Oh yeah, what man? I think. Wait, yeah, you made it. Did you make a video about this, Krono? This game?
No, I just wrote a text review of it.
Okay, because I've seen this, and like, yeah, the sprites look so good. Why would you not bring this? Like, it was so good. It's such a good looking SNES game. What a waste.
It was in the middle of that like time where RPGs still hadn't completely captured the West yet, or at least so Square assumed.
Yeah.
I think they did. At least by the Super Nintendo, I think the RPGs were doing all right for themselves.
Oh,
Because I know I was playing like Final Fantasy IV and stuff, or at least my brother was.
But
okay.
they claimed that RPGs weren't popular in the West, so
Yeah.
they didn't release a lot of them here until later.
Yeah, and like Mana is like it's kind of like an action RPG, but it's not like Zelda, and there's scary numbers in it, so I assumed we wouldn't like it.
Have you? Do you know Secret of Evermore?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually gonna bring that up because that's kind of that.
I just
go
saw
on.
it recommended underneath in the Google image search I just did, and I've never played Secret of Evermore. I just reminded me that like I used to see it on like the Blockbuster shelf, and I thought the cover art was scary.
That game's weird because it's
I don't really know anything about it. Just I remember seeing it and being intrigued because it's SquareSoft, but also being like, I'm unsettled by this creature.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Krono, but I'm pretty sure this was made by a Western studio.
Yeah, it was made by, I think, Square of America at the time.
It
Or
was
Square's
meant-
American division.
It was sort of like it has like a contemporary setting, sort of. Or you like time travel and stuff. The whole point of the game was that like we need something that American kids will like, and that's basically the hook of the game.
Yeah. And actually, a lot of people in the early 2000s, anyway, hated this game because they thought, it wasn't made by the original Japanese Square developers, so it sucks. But I don't think it's that bad. It's actually pretty all right.
Seeing the cover art with this like blonde kid with what is he holding, like a bone?
Yeah,
like
a
for
bone
his
or like
dog,
a wrench or something.
Yeah,
His first weapon is a bone that
okay.
he uses.
It's just
Actually,
seeing
this
that
cover art's awesome. Actually, I like this. It's really captivating.
Seeing that reminds me of Star Tropics, which was like they made that to be another like, oh, let's make a game that appeals to Americans.
Yeah.
So we'll make the kid like an all-American football player, and we'll name him like John Henry or something.
His name's Mike Jones.
The same.
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Steve Smith or something. Yeah.
What
It's
is
like,
the name of the guy in this?
It's like the American version of Secret of Mana.
Yeah, I think I
Kinda
saw the
is.
name. I think I might have assumed that it was like a sequel or something to Secret of Mana. Those are my two favorite games on the SNES as a kid: Secret of Mana and Mario RPG.
Then you'd probably like Trials of Mana because it plays just like Secret.
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would have
It
loved
is a
Secret
sequel
of Mana.
to Secret of Mana.
I can't believe they didn't let me play it. Stupid.
Yeah, it's frustrating. There's a lot of cool games we didn't get ever.
But I think
like Front Mission Gun Hazard.
The real reason probably they
Yeah.
didn't bring it over is because it had a large script, so it would have been really costly to translate. And this was in '95, so it was towards the end of the Super Nintendo's lifespan.
I'm sorry. How much could it cost? How much could it cost to translate all the text in a SNES game?
Well,
Believe it or not, back then it was pretty difficult to translate text in games because I think the Western developers, they didn't have the same tools that the Japanese developers had to change the text. So it was kind of from a coding standpoint, it was complicated.
Yeah, you couldn't just
okay.
find and replace Japanese text and paste in English script, right? Like Tim Rogers talks about that in that Final Fantasy VII video.
Yeah, they sometimes would have to hack the game's code in order to make it work with different font sizes and stuff.
I've seen Let's Mosey.
Yeah,
I know he talks about like having to. I don't know. He talks about like having to do it through on like a spreadsheet. He doesn't really talk about like the technical aspects of it. I guess it makes sense that you might have to do coding at some point. You might have to actually go in and like fuck with it to make it display properly and
Yeah.
etc.
I think also
Yeah.
Japanese text is more condensed than
Yes.
English.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
whenever you
that's-
translate
I know
anything,
that.
the lines are longer and then they don't fit. And then you have to
Mhm.
figure out a way to make them fit, which sometimes requires hacking the game's code.
Yeah, you need extra text boxes probably.
And
So I mean, I get that. Yeah.
back then, like you can even see it on the Secret of Evermore case here. They're like, they don't say anything about the game. They just call it a 24 meg action adventure, just to say like, oh, it's the file size is big. That means the game's good. Like Secret
I
of
mean-
Trials of Mana was probably like a really big game, like a
Mhm.
couple megabytes at least.
Oh my
And
God.
you know, like the more, it's like nothing
no,
nowadays.
fucking don't even. No,
Perish the
please.
thought.
Okay,
4 megabytes.
That's like-
Jesus Christ.
That's like That's millions of bytes.
Yeah.
But like back then, like the bigger your game was, the more it cost to make the cart. So I assume they just
right.
saw like how huge
Yeah, that's
something like
actually,
that was, and like
That's one of the reasons why Japanese RPGs on the Super Nintendo are so expensive to buy
Yep.
now, because they didn't manufacture many copies of them back then, as it was so expensive to make those cartridges.
they were
Mm.
pricier back then too.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
costly. Sometimes you would have to spend like $80 or $90 just to buy a brand new
I mean-
Super Nintendo game back then.
Am I wrong? Do all the SNES cartridges not all have the same chips in them?
Some it depends. There's a lot of Super Nintendo games.
No, they have different
Uh,
chips. Some of them they have specialized hardware chips, like
Yeah.
the Super FX chip, which is it's like basically a graphics card or a GPU built into the cartridge that would
Mm.
enhance the Super Nintendo's graphical capabilities when attached.
Yeah,
So-
it's how you got stuff
Oh.
like Star Fox. And,
Yeah, that's how the
Yoshi's
Super
Island.
Nintendo could do 3D polygons with Star Fox. And
So-
then there's also, the memory, like this Secret of Evermore was on
Oh,
a 24 meg cartridge.
Oh,
When-
right,
when
you
they
could
say
save on
meg,
the
they mean
cartridge.
megabit, not megabyte, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So three
So-
3 megabyte game right here. Big deal.
Yeah.
Were RPGs like more data intensive than like platformers?
Yeah, because they
They-
had
they
bigger,
were bigger, yeah.
worlds with more graphics to store and stuff.
I think
They could have just made a bigger platformer then. Lazy.
that it would have been nice.
Yeah.
I think the biggest Super Nintendo game is either Tales of Fantasia or Star Ocean. It's one of those
Mm.
because
Yeah.
those games straight up have voice acting in them.
I never played either of those, and I probably would have been stoked too. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Japan
think
only.
I actually.
how do you put voice acting on a SNES cartridge?
Well, let me tell you, it's
why would you do that?
just the flex.
Yeah.
To be like,
Seems
that's
insane.
fucking right.
Seems completely insane.
I think
It really is.
Star Ocean had a special compression technology that allowed it to store more data into a Super Nintendo cartridge. It's called SD
At what
something.
cost?
Yeah, it's a add-on chip, I think, and a lot of like flash carts or whatever couldn't replicate it for years.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I remember reading about either Tales of Fantasia or Star Ocean in Nintendo Power in the late 90s. And back then, they kind of made it seem like those games were going to get released in the US eventually,
Mhm.
and then they didn't. So
I was watching some Kim Justice video about RPGs in Europe, but specifically about like a magazine. There was like a particular European magazine that covered JRPGs, and that like,
That sounds cool.
oh yeah, let me try and find that video because it was pretty good.
but I think the magazine I read this stuff in was like Game Players or something. And they changed their
Mhm.
name later in the 90s. Forget to what they renamed themselves. But there were a lot of really cool gaming magazines back then.
Oh, here we go. Here, I found the exact video. Kim Justice the story of JRPGs in the UK before Final Fantasy VII. Super Play magazine.
Yeah,
That
the
is
UK,
such, like, a niche topic.
Yeah, that's
the
that's
UK
Cam.
had really bad luck, even worse than the US when it came to RPGs. Because
the history of platformers on the ZX Spectrum.
I've only seen one Kim Justice video, and it was.
I'm sorry to make fun of her voice. It's just very funny, but I like her videos a lot. Actually, I think she's great.
I like the one I saw. It was on Oasis's "Be Here Now" album. So I thought she was a music channel.
No,
she is not.
Seen that one. I haven't seen that one, but I'm curious because I've only heard her talk about video games. I found her through her Peter Molyneux, like basically like the biography of Peter Molyneux, which is I actually just rewatched that the other day. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check this out. This
yeah,
seems pretty cool.
I think the UK didn't even get Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger.
They did. Yeah, they got some sort.
I think they were not officially released, but I think there were like underground. There were like indie venues that could potentially provide you with hacks of some games. There was a scene.
I think they didn't get Chrono Trigger, but they did get Terranigma, which is kind of another one of those.
That was unusual
because
the US didn't get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to play that one. I still haven't played it.
Yeah, I beat that one a couple of years back, and I also reviewed it. It's quite good.
I've managed to remain unspoiled about the game. I hear the story is really good, so I'm curious to play it someday.
Yeah, it's similar to Illusion of Gaia.
It's made by the ActRaiser and Illusion of Gaia devs quintet.
Okay.
Which ActRaiser is fucking awesome. It's a really good.
ActRaiser is the one where you play as like the angel, like you're recreating society or civilization. Yeah. I like only learned about these games through like speed. What's the speed convention?
Speed running.
Games Done Quick.
Oh, okay.
I've seen people play them as Games Done Quick. I'd never seen any of these before.
Yeah, I really like Soul Blazer by Quintet. I think that's like a really competent action RPG from like the early SNES. And Illusion of Gaia I don't like as much, honestly. Although it's a prettier game, it feels a little less good to play. I don't know, something about it. But I still haven't beaten it, which is why I haven't played Terranigma yet.
Well, most people prefer Illusion of Gaia to Soul Blazer, but I like both of them. I think they're both pretty good.
I don't know, something about Soul Blazer. I like how simple I guess it is compared to Gaia.
Actually, Soul Blazer has a gimmick in it that's pretty similar to something from Dark Cloud.
Yes, it is similar. Where, I do like Dark Cloud a lot, so that might be why I like it more.
It's like in Soul Blazer, you start out with an empty town that there's like nobody there, and then you explore dungeons, and as you kill monsters in dungeons, the town gets repopulated.
Yeah.
And buildings appear in the town as well. And by the end of the game, the town is huge and bustling. So Dark Cloud had almost the same thing for some reason. I don't know if the two games are related.
Dark Cloud's also kind of similar to ActRaiser too.
Because you can build stuff as well.
Something about I'm really fascinated with Quintet as a developer because they made really weird games back then when a lot of people like were still figuring out like even like how a platformer works. Well, these guys were making like sim action hybrid games, and they just kind of dropped off the face of the earth after the 90s. I always wanted to make a video like kind of like dissecting whatever happened to them, but I don't really feel like I have the resources necessary to do that.
Well, I highly recommend you try Terranigma because it gets really interesting towards the end. You know, it's a very
it seems like a really fascinating game. I have this is a really funny story. I bought a Terranigma cart, a PAL version of it, and I have a Super NT, so I can just play PAL cartridges just fine. I thought it was the English translation, but it's the German. I have a German cart of Terranigma, so I turned the game on. I'm like, I haven't.
But it's fine.
Taken German
you just have
since-
to. You just have to learn German. It's no big deal.
Yeah. My German is completely ruined. Is over. I have not taken German since high school. Yeah. Those guys, man, those guys were cool.
I'm
Well, you know what they say.
you
2D
know,
beats 3D any day of the week.
I was 2D 3D PD. I was just looking at I was gonna complain because I thought I started at Mega Man 04 and I saw some of the in-game graphic or some of the in-game cutscene images and I thought, okay, this is not Toru Nakayama. This is not drawn by Toru Nakayama. They don't have the guy. They lost the guy.
No.
But I'm looking at this article, and I guess that's not true. Like, Toru was still working on it. He still drew, like, promo images and stuff for ZX and stuff. But some of the art is definitely not from his pen.
Maybe he was like more of a backseat for this one.
More of a backseat, more of a concept art. He didn't do all of the in-game
Well,
cutscenes. Probably,
well,
they
I
probably
mean-
got some schlubs to do some of it.
Ben, they were so caught off guard about the fan demand for a new Mega Man Zero.
They couldn't. They were like, "Oh, we didn't tell Toru that he was gonna have to make a game that actually finished the story. Like, we didn't
And it's
think
really unexpected.
we didn't renew his contract. Oh God, now we got to give him benefits for another year of this bullshit. Oh, we can't afford him. Let's just get an intern to like kind of copy his character designs for some of these in game, for some of these cutscenes. He'll never notice. You know what I did yesterday? You want to know? This is not video games. Sorry, sorry.
Fuck!
I went sailing yesterday.
Oh,
If you can believe it. Yeah. I wasn't really sailing, because there wasn't very much wind. There was occasionally wind. Mostly the motor was on for a lot of it. But
That's
I went
funny.
on a boat. Yeah.
my dad and my brother went deep sea fishing yesterday, so they were also on a boat.
Deep sea fishing.
Yeah, they didn't catch much. Kind of a bust of a trip.
How deep are we talking?
They just go like I guess a couple miles out from the coast to on like some schooner or something. I don't know.
Did they dive into the ocean and use spears or harpoons to catch their prey?
They gotta
I
go down in the
wish.
Mariana Trench and find, like, get the real, like, you know, in Harvest, not Harvest Moon, something Valley.
Stardew Valley.
In Stardew Valley, you catch the deep sea fish when you go down in the submarine or whatever, and you catch like the weird lanternfish and stuff. You gotta go way down for the really deep fish. That's what you want.
See, I always knew I was
Trade them
doing,
for more money.
I always knew I was doing something wrong when I go fishing. I don't have a submarine. That's what I need.
A submarine.
Yeah, exactly.
You cut. Yeah. I don't know. I went on a boat. That's all. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. I was on a boat.
How'd you get the boat?
My dad and his friend co-own a small sailboat together, and they love it. It's like my dad's hobby, basically.
That's
It's
cool.
him and his buddy sail this boat. It's their thing. And I hadn't been
like Christopher Cross or something.
Christopher Cross.
Yeah, sailing. Yeah, he says that. Forget it. Never mind.
I'm not familiar.
Someone in the comments maybe will get it. Forget it. It doesn't matter. Hope you had fun on the boat.
I had not been on the boat for got to be like 10 years now. The last time I went to this, I didn't go on the boat. I didn't get on it, but the last time I saw the boat, actually it was a different boat because they sold a different boat and they bought a replacement. But the last time I saw the boat was like probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it was to film Nate's footage for Best Anime Ever One Piece.
That old chestnut. Great video, by the way.
It was to record. I stood on the dock and I recorded footage of Nate on the boat, and still waiting for that video.
That's a pretty good use of a boat if I ever saw one.
Right? That's production value. That's production value right there.
It's like a JonTron video.
Oh yeah.
It's exactly like that.
Me and Michael from Repstugog, we're sitting on footage of something we recorded like a year ago now for basically use whenever we feel like using it, I guess. So it's maybe not exactly the same as.
Do you want to give a hint?
No, I think I've already said too much.
All right.
It's something we met up at like last year and we did some recording.
Fair enough.
Just as like well we're together, we might as well do something for the channel, I guess.
You know,
yeah, good point.
You know, I binged Repstugog a while ago.
Oh yeah,
I watched the whole catalog. Yeah,
excellent.
It's quite enjoyable. Yeah,
I'm hoping. I think Michael's just about to finish the Kingdom Hearts review. That's been a millstone around his neck for a while now.
God, that's a game that I've heard of.
Yeah,
I don't come to Repstugog for games that I've heard of.
Me neither. Sometimes.
Is that the whole thing where you're trying to review every PS2 game ever?
Yeah, we review every PS2 game. Oh God.
It's quite a massive undertaking.
It is.
Yeah. How many games is that?
I think there's a couple thousand.
Okay, and how many videos have you made? Like 20?
Hey, gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
The PS2 has like more games than almost any console, and a lot of the games are really long. If you look at the RPGs.
That's kind of why we did it.
Yeah, isn't that
the funniest console to review every game for?
The sort of what do you call it? Sort of the unofficial mascot of it is Sisyphus pushing the rock up.
Yes,
yeah, I saw that.
It was a very inspired choice there. In the time, I think last time I was on here, I was saying I was gonna do an Enter the Matrix Repstugog, which came out.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah. I was gonna say you did that one,
and I recently finished the Digital Devil Saga 2-1, and I've been focusing on doing a channel or a video for my main channel. It's kind of a big video, so it's kind of just like very slowly chipping along at that. Just kind of like it's one of those things where as I'm making it, I'm like, oh my God, can I like actually do this? Or should I just like I'm still in like I can still give up, but I really don't want to. I want to get it done.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I was doing the Mario RPG video.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a commentary video. I think that's the most I want to say about it. Like, you know, like the Matthew Matosis commentary videos.
Yeah.
Those are like bar none my favorite videos on YouTube, and I love watching those, and I always wanted a commentary video for game I'm making one on right now, and since no one else is gonna do it, I will. It's basically it.
That rules. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Unless it's a game that I really hate.
Nah, you'll probably it's a pretty likable game. The only problem I'm having right now is that like I'm worried that there's kind of been a bit of like a kickback or a pushback against like the whole like big video craze that's kind of been taken over YouTube the past couple of years.
You think so?
I see it every now and then.
I think the only reason people push back against it is because they're popular and people like them.
I think so too. I think
so. They get haters.
I think it's there's like some fair criticism there where it's just like, oh, it's a long video. You're repeating yourself. It's just you're just synopsizing what happens in the game or the show.
It really There's some. It really depends. Sometimes they they feel padded because they're repetitive, and sometimes it's just synopsis, and those are two pitfalls that those kind of videos can fall into. They're not all like that.
Yeah, it's
But
something.
some of them are, for sure.
It's something I'm really trying to avoid when making my video.
But it's pretty
Because-
difficult to write
at
a
the same
script
time,
it
for
is.
so many hours.
Yeah.
I do think that if a video is long enough, it's okay for there to be a certain amount of repetition, because certain concepts will bear repeating, like when they
Yeah.
become relevant in multiple different like times in the narration.
I don't
So
disagree.
I don't think repetition is a mortal sin. But some it's a pitfall. But okay.
It's something I can see the criticism on, but I also kind of it also sort of feels like, you know, these like big videos that people make on YouTube are something that you could only see online or like on YouTube. Like you're never gonna see someone talk about X thing for like 4 hours on like an actual produced television show. Just
No.
kind of, you know, it's sort of embracing.
Yeah,
the
like you're never
medium
going
in
to
some
see
regard.
somebody like Cybershell talk about the Chow Garden for like 1 or 2 hours in a video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something I think people should embrace a little more when dunking on Quentin reviews for his really long, boring iCarly videos or whatever.
I think that all the criticism of those videos is completely warranted, and yet I like them.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes like I just watched like a fucking 6-hour video about Lost, which is basically
the Billiam one.
Yes,
I'm halfway through the new Billiam Lost video.
It's
this is
it's
my
a good video.
this is my genre. I will defend the long video format. I think it's great.
I liked that video a lot because it wasn't. I mean, it was sort of. He was just sort of talking about the plot of the show, and he did repeat himself a bit.
A lot of it that is synopsis.
Something I did like about it is he also manages to talk about the pop culture about Lost at the time, which is something that people who binge watch it, like what I did, won't really know.
Seeing that, like, hey, they literally made magazines about what happens on this one show.
It's so weird. Or like
so
all like
fucked.
the press junkets where it's just like, so who's the hunkiest on the island?
I get that a little bit. Just the sheer scale of it, though.
Yeah,
Lost is like bizarre.
It was huge, and is
Hillary Clinton like name dropping it and stuff.
So funny.
Yeah. In an alternate timeline, that would have been the Pokemon Go to the polls.
Kinda, yeah, I think so.
Form a community to find out what the heck is going on in Lost. I don't know.
In the pop culture sections almost sort of justify the length of the video, because it sort of inadvertently tells you that Lost was this juggernaut that had so much of a following that someone will watch a 6-hour video talking about it. It's interesting. I liked that video quite a bit.
Yeah, it's nice to have that cultural context. Because that's not something you're gonna get if you watch it now.
Yeah,
the other one that jumps to mind is the Jenny Nicholson Vampire Diaries video, which kind of goes into
I haven't seen that one.
But
good. I know about it,
and it does describe the plot of the show. It does summarize the show, but it also talks kind of about like production things, like what was going on with like the studio and the cast and crew and the deal with like the original author and the rights to the franchise and all that stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
But you always have to give like the premise
up,
of whatever it is you're talking about. So you have to always at least describe some of the plot.
Yeah. There, especially for a television show. I'm just hoping to get this video done because I would like it to be like a big. I haven't made a video on the main channel since October, so I feel like I kind of have to be like, here's my grand return or whatever. I would like I would like for it to be a nice statement.
You and me are in kind of the same boat then, because I have not put out a video in a long time. And
well, you're not primarily a video guy. You're still
not really.
trucking along with the comic.
I have done some other stuff in the meantime, but still, this is kind of it's kind of like my return to YouTube. Like, hey guys, sorry I haven't made a video in a while.
Yeah.
And mine is also it's going to be pretty large, I think, is the plan. So
I hope the video goes well.
Yes. And you're not going to tell me what it's about.
Yeah, maybe after the podcast, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. When do you have a time frame in mind?
I basically I want it as soon as I finish the script. Like the script, I'd say I'm like a little under a third done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And obviously I gotta proofread it and stuff. But since it's a commentary video, that the video editing part of it goes by significantly faster than a regular video would.
Wait a minute,
right,
because
you're just kind of talking over your gameplay footage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This video is going to be scripted?
It is. Yes.
But, aren't you Tectonic Improv?
Yeah, haha. Very funny. Funnily enough.
Actually, I am a little surprised that you'd fully script out a commentary.
Because I've done a few commentary videos before. I did a cave story one and a one on Super Mario Land. Mm-hmm. And when I made my cave story video, I think I was making videos for a year at that point. Mm-hmm. And basically I was basically looking over at Matthew Matos's homework and being just okay, well, how does he do it? And then just basically trying to copy him. And I'm pretty sure that his Demon Souls and Dark Souls commentaries are not scripted.
Yeah.
Which, and you can tell because of how natural he sounds when he talks, but that is amazing to me. It is amazing that man, through several takes, obviously, but he was able to talk and talk and talk.
He just has that much to say.
Yeah. It's really amazing. And I tried to do something similar when I made my cave story commentary, and I think I got 5 minutes into the initial recording, and just kind of I stopped it, and I was like, "This isn't gonna work," and I had to script it out.
Well, you could. Okay, I mean, were you planning to commentate over the full unedited playthrough?
No. The for how big the game is, there's definitely going to be cuts, a lot of cuts. But the idea is still, I still want the idea to sort of be this is a playthrough of the game. You were getting the game and not
this is a substitute for the original product. This is not fair use.
Yes, I
precisely.
intend to be taken down by Nintendo.
Yes.
For this video. But I'm looking at the raw footage right now, and it's well over 10 hours, and fuck that.
I mean,
couldn't get me to write something like that for 10 hours and make it interesting.
Oh, so the game is one that's over 10 hours. Huh? Putting that down on my little checklist. Yeah.
Just cross-reference howlongtobeat.com. Every game that can be beaten under 10 hours. But yeah. It's a game. It's a video game. It's honestly
cool.
I can't imagine writing a script for anything that's several hours long. That's must be real hard.
I was, I mean, I was thinking about it. It's actually, I was surprised to realize that an hour narration is only 1,500 words. No, 10 minutes. Sorry, 10 minutes is 1,500 words, right? Or
something around that. It depends on how fast you talk, obviously.
So an hour long video then is only maybe it's 9,000 words, which I mean it's a lot to write, but I feel if you're really feeling it and you really have a lot to say, I feel I could write 9,000 words in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, my cave story commentary was that was like a little under 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
And it's 19,000 words.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like
that
well
sounds
below
about right.
novel. It's well below novel length.
Mm-hmm.
And
I guess I just find it really hard because all my stuff usually is jokes one after the other.
yes.
So it's
Yeah.
not easy to write like 1 hour worth of jokes nonstop.
Of course. Well, it helps that I don't try to be funny in my videos most of the time. I think it's easier to write more, or at least for me, I find it easier to write more dry analytically than to really have like a lot of humor or whatever put in. Because I mean, you know, you gotta think of a joke, and like, you know, thinking of a joke takes a lot of time. Gotta be clever.
The video that will not be named is it's not scripted. It's not like scripted. I have notes. I have many bullet points, and I have anytime for maybe a month or two now, I have been anytime I think of something funny that is relevant to the subject at hand, I have a little notepad and I just have like a list of jokes, and I'm like, okay, I thought of a funny joke. I'll just write that, or a funny thing to reference. I'll put that in there in roughly the period, and I'll just, when I'm recording, I'll just make sure to mention that. Make sure to not forget to say
actually,
that.
this is how Larry David does Curb Your Enthusiasm. He mentioned it in an interview.
Yeah?
Yeah, he walks around with a notepad in his pocket all day, and every time he comes up with a joke, he jots it down. And then when he goes home, he transports everything into a larger notepad. And then he turns that into an episode.
Huh. Huh. I'm a genius.
Yeah, so this is how a lot of professional comedians do their come up with their comedy.
Well, I guess maybe that tells me that I'm not completely fucking it up yet.
Because it's kind of hard just to sit down and just come up with jokes in that moment.
Yeah, no.
Usually you come up with them, while you're going about your day.
Every once in a while, I have a little thought, and I'm like, "Oh, that's funny. I'll write that down." And then I've let them build up for.
That's actually how I do my videos as well. I have a giant joke text file on my computer with like hundreds of puns and horrible jokes.
The Rosetta Stone.
It's almost like creativity is like an ongoing process.
Damn.
It's almost like, yeah. It's just learning so much about life and about the artistic method. This is like old PCP when we talked about being content creators. Remember that? Remember that?
The really old PCP.
Yeah, the early days.
PCP HQ, guys. Any day now.
Yeah, we just have to move everybody to the same location.
Everyone
was
to
it,
Boston.
Virginia Beach?
We're waiting for you, Krono.
It
changed every like 5 months.
You ever hear Asperger's Digibro rap?
No.
No, I haven't, but it sounds amazing.
It's
Did you record it before or after the beatings? Alleged beatings, I should say.
The alleged beatings. Give me a break. There's no evidence. There's no evidence on the books.
I don't want to slander the man.
Yeah. He's a good boy who did nothing wrong.
Some might say.
There's no. I'm not. Try not to get too serious, but there are no credible witnesses.
Yes.
But anyway, in the Digibro rap, I don't remember the whole thing off the top of my head, but I do remember there's some bars in there about PCP HQ and how it's fucking stupid.
I guess he does have a point.
He did have. You know what? He you gotta hand it to him. Just like ISIS, you gotta hand it to him. What were we talking about before that?
Something about
video
creativity
games?
is a.
I love video games,
and I love video games as well.
I would play them all day.
Well, I actually hate them.
Oh no!
Well, I'll do you one better. I hate everything. So there's that.
Yeah, that's isn't that a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I saw a tweet the other day that was asking like, what's a creator who's like lost their fame or lost their clout or whatever, lost their audience.
Yeah.
And someone said, I hate everything. And I'm like, I don't
think
I guess I haven't heard much about him in a while, but like he's got to still be big, right?
He has that podcast with YMS and Ralph the Movie Maker, and then that other podcast with his friends Jar Media.
Yeah, I was thinking of Jar Media. What's the one with YMS?
The Sardonicast.
Yes.
So like he's still around, and I think he's still I think he still has like a dedicated fan base. He maybe
does he not put out like regular IHE videos much anymore?
That's a good question. I have not been subscribed to I Hate Everything.
I was surprised to see that because I never heard of any like downfall of that guy.
But the only one that comes to mind.
I saw a lot of stupid answers to that question.
He just doesn't upload a lot.
Yeah.
He hasn't uploaded since 7 months ago is the last time he uploaded. So I guess he just focuses more on.
It's not as long as me, so
yeah.
Just
focuses more on side stuff. I think he's still, he hasn't fallen off in like a way I would use as that definition as like a big creator.
I was gonna say there's a JonTron way.
Well, JonTron still gets views.
JonTron does still get views.
His public perception, I think, has fallen in certain crowds.
His public perception has fallen, and I just don't think he's funny.
Yeah,
in addition to finding him personally repellent.
Yes.
I
would say like
Grade A Under A. He used to be, but for some reason he still gets a lot of views.
He does.
Grade A Under A. Does that guy even post anymore?
I think he does, at least somewhat frequently.
Haven't heard a peep about him in a long, long time.
That's who I think of when I think of like big creator who's fallen off. Outside of like old ass Let's Players like Tobuscus or something.
I think the last thing I heard about Grade A Under A was like that he had done some COVID conspiracy shit.
Yeah, I think he was like an anti-vaxxer, maybe. I don't want to
sounds believable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one I can think of is DigiPro.
Well, of course.
That guy got replaced by somebody else.
Whatever happened to him? Where did? Yeah, what is Yig Studio, and who is this weirdo in like the Halloween costume?
I saw people commenting in your Discord about how Giga released like a video talking about like a bunch of prominent Anitubers and how Trixie,
like a history of Anitube.
Yeah, and I guess Trixie is just like kind of footnoted. Which is pretty sad in the grand scheme of things.
That's kind of interesting how Trixie isn't mentioned in the big anime sphere anymore.
You know what? It makes sense to me because she was always like never like part of that. Her brand was always being like I'm not like them. I'm better than them.
And now she got what she wanted, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Don't like her. No, sir.
So there you go.
No, sir.
You guys thought you were safe, huh? You thought you weren't going to get a Trixie reference. Well, guess what? You did. God. It took like 2.5 hours, but we did it. Is that a
Trixie reference? Is that a motherfucking Trixie reference?
Oh, Ben's still talking about Trixie? Oh, my God.
I can't. I'm too angry. My feelings were to her. Sad but true. Well, hey, I was gonna suggest that we could start a voicemail. If you feel like it, unless there's anything else you'd rather do before that.
No. Well, actually, there's one last thing I wanna show you.
Okay.
It's not really much to say on it. It's just this is a really funny song from.
Oh, fuck yeah!
There's an N64 game called Bumble, where you play as a cyborg cyborg
Bee?
Bumblebee with guns and
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, the song kicks ass.
And the
It's-
most notable thing about this game is the title screen music.
Buck to the
Yeah.
buck,
Oh.
Bumble.
Oh,
It's pretty interesting. I recommend everybody listening to this to check that out.
I'm cringing.
I'm bumping my head.
Yeah, that's kind of the intended effect. Well, I don't know if they intended it, but that's the effect it provides. I remember renting this game as a kid many years ago, and I went back and I beat it recently, and the only thing I can remember about it is this song.
So it's not that good.
I have never heard of it ever.
Well, it's not horrible, but it's kind of like
mid.
plain. It's basic.
Yeah,
You know, there's not much to note about it.
it's like Glover.
Yeah. But
Free fly.
I completely forgot about this song until I played it again, and it kind of reminds me of like the DK rap from Donkey Kong 64. It's not as endearing as that, but it's
no, definitely not.
but it's still kind of weird and cringy.
It's hey. Why did they make this?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Or I was thinking to myself as
So
I listened to this.
this is like a 3D collectathon, like platformer, or like an action platformer.
No, it's
jump
like
and shoot?
an aerial 3D shooter. You fly around
Oh.
and you shoot at stuff.
Hmm.
I think it's kind of like those Star Wars games on the N64.
Mm-hmm.
You shoot around, you shoot shield generators to destroy stuff. It's basic like search and destroy kind of gameplay.
You know,
You know, the game itself
as
sucks,
one
but the
does.
song is, I think, worth listening to.
Well, I've now I can never unhear it. What would you call this? Like
it's like drum and
Rasta?
bass, sort
okay, yeah.
It's
like
I don't know,
hip-hop.
a jive Jamaican guy singing for some
Yeah.
reason. I don't know why they
It's-
thought that was
it's
appropriate
very
for.
European.
Yeah, what's thematically? Yeah, it's very a European trying to do Jamaican drum and bass.
Yeah,
What's-
it's really
What's thematically relevant about this song to the game? Is my
Yeah, exactly.
question.
Well-
What's the motivation here?
His name is Buck Bumble, and
Uh-huh.
he bum to the buck to the bum to the buck to the bumble. So he bumbles and he bucks. His name's Buck
Yeah.
Bumble,
yeah.
Okay.
That
and it's the
explains
90s,
everything.
so it's drum and bass.
I'm getting there. Yeah, okay. It is the 90s. It is the 90s.
We are in the 90s.
We are living in the Yeek era. And Buck Bumble instead of gushing about like Final Fantasy and Legend of Zelda in that game, they should have been like super excited to play Buck Bumble on the N64.
Yeah, why not? You know,
yeah.
with music like this, you know, the sad thing is the rest of the music of the game isn't like this at all.
Oh, lame.
The rest of the music is
Yeah.
like generic. That was
Weak.
kind of would have been nice if the entire soundtrack was like this.
It would have.
It would have at least been something to say about Buck Bumble.
Yeah.
The speaking of long videos, you know who hasn't made a video in a while?
Well, I think everybody
no
in
guesses?
this call counts.
Long video man hasn't made a video in a while.
You might get it.
I might get it. Yeah.
I know you know this person.
I got thumbed through my 5 billion subscribers.
Bum to my
Yeah,
Bumble.
I gotta bum to the Buck Bumble.
Gotta buck my Bumble real quick.
Well, it can't be Cybershell because he made a Dreamcast video not that long ago, I think.
No, it is
did.
not. It is not Cybershell, and I did see that Dreamcast video, and I was entertained.
The Snaker has been uploading recently, so I guess it's not him.
Yeah, no. Although I haven't seen his newest output.
I
don't
don't
remember
normally
watching
watch his Yakuza videos because I'm not in
Yeah.
that space,
I don't play.
which is fine.
I don't play them, but I did binge all of his Yakuza videos at one point, so I guess somewhere in my mind I'm like, I'll watch another one if he makes more of Yakuza videos.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it yet.
All
Alright, you give up?
Yeah, I give up.
It was
pass.
Tim Rogers. It was Tim Rogers' action button. Yeah.
Duh.
Mm.
Doy.
What did he say? He was what did Cyber Shell. Cyberpunk 2077 came out. Review came out in like October last year. Has it been like a year?
It's getting close to a year. I'm yeah.
Well, doesn't he take a while to do his videos?
He does.
Well, sure.
And he also said he was gonna not overwork himself on the next one, which this might be why it's taking so long.
It's just funny that like the initial action button model was one video a month, and
isn't that cute? Isn't that what a card?
Yeah. I mean, he described that's what he says he's going to do in the Final Fantasy VII review, but then no. Then did he say the next one's Earthbound, right? I feel like he suggested the next one would be Earthbound for season 2.
I think he said that he would do an Earthbound video, but I think the next one, I think he says in the Cyberpunk video that the next review is it's some PlayStation game called like something My Summer Vacation.
Oh, Japanese. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
I'm looking. That seems like it could be cool. I've never played the game. I'm really interested. He said he was going to review Final Fantasy IV, and I really want to see that one because I love Final Fantasy IV.
Did he say he was going to do 6?
I don't think he said 6.
It's his favorite.
6 would be pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah.
He wrote that. I mean, he wrote that article at one time about like about the time he bought Final Fantasy VI. I did find that and read that at some point.
I should read more of his blog or like his website.
I haven't read that much of it.
I wasn't aware that he had a website with written articles.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah,
I should probably
him and some other people. It's not he didn't write all of the reviews on there, but
yeah.
I should probably check that out as someone who also did that for 20 years.
I think
maybe. I mean, I can't speak to the quality of what's on there myself.
I read some of his. I think it's like his top 100 games of all time, and I read some of like the higher ones. I think I think he puts Another World at number 1, which is Another World's a great game. And it's nice to hear people talk about it.
I've seen a lot of. I use this phrase lovingly. I've seen a lot of highfalutin critic types praising Another World.
It's one of those
recent
games.
Years.
It is.
Yeah, I never played it, but in fact, I never even knew about it. Like when I was younger.
I first heard about it.
The Super Nintendo platformer.
Out of This World is what it was called on Super Nintendo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was made by the Eric Chahi, the Heart of Darkness guy.
Right, I beat that one recently. It's pretty interesting.
It's it famously inspired Eco.
Did it? You know what?
One of its claims to fame. And
I didn't know that, but it seems obvious now that you say it.
Eco convinced Miyazaki to make games. So Eco is responsible for Dark Souls, ergo Another World is responsible for Dark Souls.
I didn't know that.
It's one of those your favorite game developer's favorite games.
Yes.
And it was also made by one guy, so it has that like sort of auteur feeling to it. It's a cool game. You can beat it in like an afternoon.
I think I've seen a Matthew Matosis video about Another World. And I've definitely seen a video about Heart of Darkness. I don't know who.
Matthew did one on Heart of Darkness. I don't think he did one on Another World.
Maybe, but he... Oh, wait, he mentions Another World when he's talking about Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of.
I did...
Are we not... Oh, sorry.
I did like a short little video on Another World in the JRPG video. So you may be also thinking of that.
I might definitely be thinking of that. Are we
But,
now
like-
getting to the point that the new? Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm trying to change the topic, but you
No,
finish your thought before I go on.
There's a lot of reviews out there of Another World. You know.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, are we now getting to the point that the wait for the next action button has now been longer than the wait for Cyberpunk 2077?
No.
Are we how long was the wait for a Cyberpunk review?
Oh, you mean the review? I thought you meant the game itself, because the game got announced in like 2013.
No.
That's it's a good point.
I think it was only like 8 months. I don't think it was a whole year.
Yeah, Tokimeki
Between
came
Tokimeki
out,
Memorial and 20 Cyberpunk.
Tokimeki came out in January, and Cyberpunk came out, I think, in October.
Yeah.
So it's close. I can't do the math right now, but
I think. Oh yeah, because it's August, so.
oh yeah, so
yeah, it'd be 10 months.
I think
So-
I
think it's the same. I think we're at the same. Yeah. Amazing.
That's that's not really that much time in the grand scheme of things. I mean, after all,
yeah.
Not
I
really.
once didn't upload anything for like 2 years.
Yeah,
But here's the thing, though. I mean, when the Cyberpunk review came out, it was like, I mean, how many combined hours is it?
it's
like 12 hours?
It's like 8 hours, I think. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's 7
okay.
reviews, some of which encompass like an hour and a half, some of which are like 20 minutes.
I had thought that the next one would not be that size.
I was under that impression as well, and I don't think it'll be as big as the Cyberpunk video, but
Mhm.
or he also could be he could be like backlogging them,
Mm.
So they like he's recording footage for a bunch of different games. Maybe if we followed his Patreon, maybe he's more specific about
I
updates.
refuse. I
Yeah.
refuse to do that.
I know he streams every Friday.
Mm.
For some reason, it doesn't. I don't feel like the wait has been too excruciating for a new Tim Rogers video. I guess because
I was
gives you-
surprised to realize how long it has been.
yeah, no, I don't disagree because it has
Mm.
been a while.
I just thought I guess I'm just surprised. I thought it would be sooner, but whatever.
These things
sure.
they take time.
And I'm not paying any money, so I can't complain.
God damn
Yeah.
you!
Yep. I'm consuming the content for free.
Hmm.
All right. What do you think about a voicemail now?
All right, let's go.
All right. Let's go. There's only like 8 or 9, I think.
Was it because they all got sent to the incinerator, or people just weren't so talkative this week?
I assume that they stopped being able to send them because the inbox got full. I will empty out the old voicemails from the inbox.
Man, you were doing the voicemails in like what 2018? Is that when you started? There's got to be some old ass voicemails on there.
There must be. Yeah, there must be. Oh no! I hate to do it. I hate to go back and delete.
Well,
How am I gonna sort through 1.4 gigabytes and not delete any of the good ones? I can't do it. It's impossible. It's impossible. No, I'm gonna have to just select all, delete like half of them.
Yeah. Well, they're immortalized in the podcast episodes, so they exist still.
You know what? Here's the silver lining. There, back in the day when Nate was in charge of it, so many of them didn't get listened to, and there's I'm sure there's so many hidden gems in there that will just be right in the trash, and I'll never know, and I'll never have to mourn them because I'll never experience what could have been.
I sent a voicemail once that Nate decided wasn't good enough for the podcast. I'm pretty sure.
Do you remember what it was about?
Nate used
I
to
do.
screen the voicemails.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Good
did.
old days. Remember that?
He would pick out like a handful of them.
Mm,
Back when the PCP cared about quality.
right.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
My voicemail, it was I forget why it came up, but I was talking about I think Tommy Oliver for all the viewers who forget who that is. Was said on like a podcast that like Heart Gold and Soul Silver is just like better in every way to Gold and Silver, or just that like Gen 2's the best gen, and I basically just actually in a voicemail, which fair enough that you don't play that because I think it was kind of long.
Okay.
I don't even remember what I said.
I think I agree with him. I think I kind of agree with him.
If I listened to the specific podcast again, I could probably get the gears rolling again.
Okay. I won't make you trot out. Your old grievance.
I think I basically just don't really like the level scaling in Johto or the.
Well, that's not really. That's not a problem. That's a problem with both versions.
Yeah, it's something they could have fixed though.
I haven't revisited them in a while, but I've been watching some Flygon HD videos, and
who's that?
He's a Nuzlocke guy.
Oh, okay.
Flygon HG, and he talks about Johto. He really dislikes Johto.
I don't dislike it. I think
specifically
it's cool.
the post, specifically for Nuzlocking. He says Nuzlocking through Kanto after the end game of Johto. He's like a slug. He doesn't do it. He doesn't include it.
I could see that.
In his
annoying.
Johto runs, yeah.
That's famously where Mumkey's Pokemon Crystal Nuzlocke ended. Got wiped out by I think Sabrina.
Oh yes, I remember that. When
Halcyon Days.
The run that I played that Brunswick was originally from. I think it was pretty weak. I think I wiped to the Eevee girls in like Ho-Oh Tower or whatever.
Really?
Or whatever tower.
But doesn't Brunswick get killed by a Wobbuffet?
Yes, but I didn't wipe to the Wobbuffet.
Oh.
No, I went on to lose that run to the fucking Eevee girls like a chump.
Doesn't the comic end with
shameful.
you getting? I thought the comic ends with you getting killed by Claire and Blackthorn.
Yes,
am I mistaken, or is this like artistic license?
It does. I changed the I changed the ending from real life.
Fair enough.
No, yeah, actually that's a good point, and I forgot that I did that. But yes, in real life, I wiped to the Eevee girls. But like, I didn't want to draw that.
This is like looking up the Wikipedia article to the biopic, and finding like, oh wait a minute, Rudy didn't catch the winning touchdown. What the fuck?
They just made that up for the movie? No!
What do you mean? Remember the Titans isn't real.
The first voicemail is not a voicemail, it's an image, I guess. So here, I'm gonna post the link for that.
Okay, so here, what I'm gathering from this is that greenhouse gases are just going to go down. See, I don't know. The guy just posted the image, so I don't know what he's trying or what they are trying to say.
Oh, wait. There's a caption here. In parentheses, it says they did it.
They did.
So I guess this is congratulating them on the reduction in U.S. greenhouse gas emissions. I mean,
well, it could also be ironic. But
I don't really know what to. I mean,
I know that this Inflation Reduction Act just got passed by the House. I don't know if that means. I think it still has to go to the Senate, doesn't it?
Oh, and it moved the trajectory down towards the Paris target.
Yeah,
good.
Better than nothing.
I know that Midgar produces a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, so we need to do something about that city.
What? You're listening to the Avalanche conspiracy theorists.
Look,
the live stream is perfectly renewable energy. It's fine.
We elected Joe Manchin because our Mako reactors. If we close down the Mako reactors, then what about our jobs? What about our gerbs? We're gonna lose all our industry to Nibelheim.
Those goddamn Wu Tai soldiers, they're gonna take all our jobs.
Those communist Wu Tai. The Wu Tai are manufacturing eco. We gotta stay even with them. They're gonna overtake us if we don't if we don't keep sucking up Mako. We gotta keep the Mako, make the Mako flowing.
I stand with President Rufus.
President Rufus. has said that President Rufus has said that, we as Americans, we have to embrace diversity and we have to really formulate a strategy to form a committee to make an inquiry into the possibility of future life stream refinement reductions with targets set as early as 2075. So, the leaders, they've got it handled. Don't worry about it.
It will be completely carbon neutral by year you're never going to see. Stop complaining.
We will be live stream neutral. We will be putting as many dead people's souls back into the live stream as we are sucking up power by devouring them to create materia.
By the time it happens, you'll be part of the live stream.
Exactly.
Well, so they say,
and that's a relief. And isn't that just a relief?
That's a good thing.
You can peacefully go into the live stream knowing that you will your contribution will eventually offset the amount that you used in your day-to-day life while you were alive, before you yourself are harvested to, I don't know, power some fucking tube or gasket or whatever.
Your soul will be harvested to power some guy's private jet.
To keep Genova safely in that tube. Okay, the next voicemail is called where did I put it here? Next voicemail is called Owls. There it is. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello. I am an Australian person.
Sorry.
On behalf of the great nation that is Australia, I demand that Samurai Summer is made voice Grail.
What?
But don't just take it from me.
Oh.
Listen to my friend here.
Yeah.
Konnichiwa. Senno senpo
The samurai's back.
Meko samurai.
I think it's the real McCoy. You know what?
Until next time.
I feel graced to get a samurai voicemail. I'm an OG samurai fan.
You know what?
How is samurai not voice Grail? That's the only reason I'm confused.
I said last episode, someone pointed out Samurai Sama was not voice Grail, and I said, well, that seems like an oversight. I should fix that, and then I forgot to fix it. So no, I swear I'll do it.
You can forget to fix it again.
It could be Ben's weekly reminder to put Samurai Sama in the voice Grail. Okay, you know what? Good message. Good message. Thanks, Samurai. Konnichiwa. Next voicemail is called Question. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, new to the show.
Wow, I'm so
Ben
sorry.
and Gib, are you two dating?
Well,
Hey, Ben and Nate, are you two actually brothers, or do you just call each other that because you're black? What's going on there? Somebody asked that one time.
No.
He thought that me and Nate were black, and that's why we called each other brothers. It might have been a joke. But
that's
how
a
can
good
you
joke.
tell?
That's a good joke.
If it was a joke, it was a very funny one. But anyway, not yet. Wink. Not yet. Wink. That's my answer.
Long distance. It never works.
Never works. But maybe. But
it might for us.
But it might for us. No, they're always just deluding themselves.
Well, you see, once
it
you
might
get,
work for us.
Once you get PCP HQ going, then it'll be possible.
Then we can get married for the tax free. You know what? My dad asked me, and this sucks. I hate this, but my dad asked me if I was going to get married, and I said I don't know. And he said, and then he pressed the question, which I didn't like. So I responded with that I would love to get fake married. I would love to get fake married just for the tax write-off. And then my mom was like, "There's not really a tax write-off." I was like, "What?" I guess there's really not that much benefit to it. The best financial reason is that you and a spouse together might qualify for like a lower tax bracket, but there's not. I thought there was like a bigger standard deduction that you get if you're married, but no, it's you get double the standard deduction, but it's because it's two people filing jointly, so like it's equal. So what a fucking ripoff.
Well, just remember, if you do get married, be sure to live stream it.
Well, I would say the real reason for you and Gib to get married is so that you could get the green card, right? I mean, that's the real prize, not the tax bracket.
Just like my conspiracy theory that Holly and Ross's marriage was a green card sham.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, it's true. It's true to me, and that's all. That's all I need. Did I ever explain that? I probably explained that.
I vaguely remember this because Ross is Canadian, right?
Australian.
Okay.
Well, it's the same thing.
yeah, right.
My completely spurious claims, just based on like I don't know, just based on that I think Holly described herself as asexual before.
Well,
so
yeah, I remember.
I guess I know asexual people can have sex and be horny and be sluts and
well, I don't even mean that. I just mean like, you can marry someone and still like them, love them.
My claim is not even that they don't like each other. In fact, you would have to like someone a lot to marry them just to get them a green card.
I suppose you would.
Yeah,
it's kind of quite a commitment.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sure.
You know what? I don't know. Truly, I am speculating on matters that I have no insight into whatsoever. But that's the fun of it, That's the best kind. Next one is it's a Vocaroo link from fuckbestguyever.mp3 at voicemail.doid. It might be him.
The gasp. I think it's him.
It might be him.
Before you start this, I have a confession to make. I'm
You're
sure
Doid Gazer.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I don't go on KB Farms.
True.
I actually asked to be on this episode because I got a DM from Doid Gazers saying he would like for me to be on this episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I also I got a tweet from Doid Gazer asking me to be on this episode as well.
Wait, really?
Curious.
Yeah, I posted a screenshot of it earlier.
Oh wait! Oh yeah! No, I remember. I did see. Okay, I mean.
So I did. Big confession. I'm sorry. Ben, I came on here for Doid, not for you.
No. Well,
right.
now I know. Now I know.
Same
what
for
you
me.
really think. Okay. Well, let's give it a listen. 3, 2, 1, go.
Doy, 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 doy.
Elizar, you might want to cut this one out.
Surf's up, dude. I don't mean to be rude, but it's actually pretty pathetic you couldn't make it on YouTube. You're a full-time liar with a part-time bias. The PCP expired and you know you co-conspired. Let me play devil's advocate. Suck a bag of dicks. Your Virgin TNG to Chad, Battlestar Galactic. Your farce-centerism mixed with self-shame and Tiffany's my main man-Nate's got romantic fanalism. I'd run your dog Sesha, over with Bird's Prius. I'd savor his death, like I savor Bird's penis. You're gayer than the protagonist of a JRPG, and your content is worth less than Ripple XRP. So kill yourself. It's your crypto responsibility. Go eat a can of beans laced with tramadol and creatine, and cram it all down like a gonzo slamming mescaline. Oh shit, Riley, I said the word! Gonzo, it's better with Nate Gonzo. 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 The Gamer Zone's just a worse version of the PCP, and talking pirates needs to be flushed down the potty. Miyamoto was trash and made absent-mindedly, and Weagawa was just another schedule you couldn't keep. But you don't get it. You want your normie life, you want your Asian wife, have some Ellie Roger looking kids, man, and that's alright. Shit, I get it. Not here to fight about who's wrong or right, but you voted for Trump twice and you mine all night. Your head would look good impaled on a spike.
with some sunglasses. Ching chong, ping pong, they can suck my ding dong. Your face shit like ping pong, a real nigga need pong. You're better left in hindsight, screaming on your work night. Keep that messy boy butt tight with a 5-inch joint pipe. I'm sick of your glasses, I'm sick of your tactics. You're as Seiken as plastic as the gas stations have glasses. You went back to code cause you blew all your load too quickly and burned out like an origami stove. I thought it was funny. Riley, quick, I'm floundering! Gonzo, it's better with Nate Gonzo, it's better with Nate Gonzo,
Yes,
it's better
bars,
with Nate Gonzo.
bars upon bars.
Spit it. Nate Gonzo. You didn't even make a Smash video when Sora got him. What's wrong with you, fucker?
Yeah.
Or Minecraft Steve! Everyone complains about Trixie dropping off, but you're worse. Can't wait for you to continue not acknowledging anything, you fucking coward.
Ooh.
You fucking make Ben look good in comparison.
Oh,
I guess you make your mom and
snap!
daddy proud though, so that's good. Fucking neurotypical normie wage slave cuck scum. This has been a YGG production. Baby, do you have anything to say? Say patreon.com/BenSeiken.
I heard something.
That was his kid because he has a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's sometimes he does that. In more recent times, he'll just give the baby a microphone and be like, "Say something."
But this
that was good.
This is getting voice grail from me.
Surely
He's already.
I think Doid is already voice grail, but if not, yeah. I mean,
You can you can multiply it.
He makes a
Multiple
good
voice
point
grail.
though. Why didn't Nate make he should have made a Kingdom Hearts Smash video.
I mean,
That's silly. It's silly he didn't do that.
Maybe it was too much pressure. Because he's a Kingdom Hearts guy, and he did those Smash videos. It was
makes
too
sense.
much for him.
Maybe he needs to take some personal fucking responsibility and take up the mantle.
He needs
and
to
make that Smash video before someone else does.
Now, timely.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late. The clock is ticking. Sora's been out for
a year,
2 years now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if it's 5 years, that'll be too late.
Yeah. Well, if you wait 20 years, then it becomes nostalgic again. So
Well, maybe that's
playing
what
the
he's
long
doing.
game. Playing the long game. He won't make it now. He'll make it 20 years from now. When the audience has aged up and has more money, you see.
Yeah, that's a ticket.
This was pretty good rap, pretty good bars.
I guess that's why Mr. Doid wanted me to be on here, so I can be graced with this majestic work of art.
I'm a well-known, outspoken Doid Gazers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
All farmers are bastards except one. And it's Doid.
That's right. I think yeah. That's pretty much where I land on it.
I'm honored
thank you,
to...
thank you, Doid. Thank you, Doid. I am honored to receive this work. Everyone should follow Doid Gazer. Is it Doid Gazers on Twitter? At Doid Gazers?
I think it's Doid Gazer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyone
Yes.
that's not should check them out on.
Make it easy for you.
I'm trying to remember the lyrics and try and think about which was my favorite. What was the biggest laugh? What was the biggest laugh that got out of me? I can't remember. Sorry, everyone. My diss track against Best Guy Ever has broken the PCP voicemails. Prophetic.
So,
that gets a
maybe
retweet.
he was the last voicemailer.
He was not quite. There are a few more after, but shortly after that, I think, yeah, it ended. They heard that and they were like, "Oh shit, we've let these people have too many voicemails over the limit. We were being generous, but no more. This can't be allowed to continue." All right, Doid Gazer. I'm giving him that retweet. Gotta get this shit.
And that's it's a tweet where he asked me to be on this episode.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you did post it before. I forgot, but okay. All right, I'm still reeling from that last one, but we've got the show must go on. So let's take a look at. Okay, this next one is called "There's 20-something Images." Okay,
this guy. Yes,
it's more of Vinny.
Oh, has he been posting them?
He has been.
Yeah,
he usually deposits them in a.
I like the Tomm in the wheelchair. It's pretty funny. He looks like a Homestar Runner character.
But this is pretty good artwork. Maybe you should hire this person to do your comic for you.
You mean
is that still
the Dojin? Yeah, Drinking Moth. Drinking Moth has started drawing some of it. And they're really good. They're coming out really good, and I'm
that's good.
Yeah. Simsy's doing a page as well.
It's kind of crazy that you're still releasing RadCon reward stuff.
Yeah, it's a little stupid. It's a little stupid and fucked up, but I won't ever let it go until it's done. So that's
you're a man of integrity.
That's right. What without his word? What is a man even worth? Wait a minute, I don't mean to post that one. There's 20-something images, but some of these are repeats. Some of these are like zoomed in shots of larger pieces. This one,
I like the clipboard. It adds a lot.
This one of Uwupity is truly delightful. Yeah, these are good. These are this guy's evolving. Oh yeah. Oh no, Tomm. No, Tomm. I'm sorry, but this is what happens when you betray the PCP and you run off to hang out with richer friends, you get fucked up. You get your legs broke.
What a shame.
What a shame. Yeah, what a shame, but don't say it. Don't say I didn't warn you.
He was a good man.
He was.
You don't
not anymore.
You don't cross the PCP because then that's something you're not going to walk back from.
That's right.
What is this dragon? I think he just gave Tomm a dragon. I think he just wanted to draw a dragon.
Well, this is the sorceress that was lost. I don't know. I can't think of it. I was trying to think of a Tomm reference.
Oh, it's Tomm's JoJo stand Spinal Tap.
That's what I saw that. That's clever.
That one's pretty good. Yeah. With each spine gained, the user grows stronger and more mobile. Each spine adding to the arms of the star and multiplying its strength by tenfold. The limitation and release of this power is when the user steps on a crack.
So this has its own lore behind it.
This guy, yeah, he's started doing JoJo stands as well. I'm just gonna post that. I'm trying to post like the most zoomed out versions of all of these. Sorry, some of the ones that I'm posting are repeats. And then most of these are about Tomm. And that's lame. What about me?
It's the Tomm arc.
Tomm gets an arc because his spine sure doesn't. Does that make sense?
Heyo.
Yeah. Okay.
He's Tomm's the PCP favorite.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Hey Gib, want to go with me and have a podcast together? Tomm, oh god, I wish he would just post these all as one image. Tomm, you know I'm podcasting with Ben, podcast with me, and I can show you a world without an ounce of goss. Goss that is always about another woman. Goss that heats that heats Ben to his core, unlike anyone else in the world. In our podcast, it will be only you and me, Gib. Join me in podcasting as my co-host with exclusivity. Tomm. Hey, Gib, have you seen the new regional variant of Whooper? Look at this little guy. Yes! Are you okay, Gibbon? Tomm isn't behind me, is he? No, he's not. No one's there. Okay. Y'all, you gonna be okay? Yeah, I just need a minute. Tomm is so unsettling with his rippling muscles. I'll get you yet, Give and Take. Saberspark's spaghetti supremacy will rise yet. I don't get it. Pokemon, huff huff. Let's complain about these Pokemon, Gib. Shut up, Ben. But the Pokemons. Okay, and then we've got one drawing of Simsy Fart. Haha, how much of a simp do you have to be to do something like that? There he is. I'll have to... He did not include a single, just big shot of the whole comic, so that's inconvenient. I'll have to post
This
a
is
piecemeal.
like a PCP fan fiction.
Yes.
Yeah. It's becoming more and more common for some reason. More and more of the voicemails are... I think this must be inspired by New, the comics about me and Gib with the
That
huge
sounds
tits.
like a real PCP episode.
If only. Okay. Delightful. Tomm is strong and scary, and that is what we've learned today. The next voicemail is another Vokaroo. 3, 2, 1, go.
My hope is that that kind of frequent content thing, like Best Ever will be the things people are really hoping to see from me. And then, like, the PCP, the podcast, and then, of course, content being, like, the new place for the faster content, the stuff that's about, timely releases that me and Digi can whip up stuff about.
I mean, yeah, you could probably find a gold mine of old PCP episodes where thing someone said did not exactly pan out as planned.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you telling me that these well-laid plans gong a glee? What the fuck?
Next, you're gonna tell me that the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. That doesn't sound right.
I wouldn't.
That is funny to hear, though. I mean, content was frequent. Content was frequent when it happened.
Yeah, I guess I don't really remember, but yeah, it was frequent-ish. I can't. It's hard to really. I would lay the blame on Nate, not for ending content, but for beginning it. I would say was the mistake there. And then everything else. Podcast dead.
Lol.
What was the other one he said? Did he say Bestie Boy, the side channel? I don't know if anything's.
He said the PCP was the.
Oh, the PCP. Oh, that's
yes.
Yeah. He's extricated himself. I don't know. I mean, listen. I can't explain why people do the things they do. I'll never know.
And neither will Nate.
Yeah. And he just refuses. He will simply refuse to speak on the matter.
Did he get it like another job again recently?
No one knows. You won't explain.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really know. Like, I don't really talk to him about it much. He doesn't like tell me things. I don't know. I do kind of know what's going on with him, but I feel like he wouldn't appreciate me like divulging what he's up to and stuff. I just it's nothing.
I just remember he made a big.
I don't really have anything like super interesting to say, but I
just remember when he started doing a bunch of YouTube videos, he made a big deal about how he quit his job to do YouTube full time.
And then
but then he doesn't really upload that frequently anymore. So
and then people said he did less videos after he went full time.
Yeah, so I just assumed that he got a job again later, but I don't know.
I don't feel like I should.
You don't have to
confirm
say
one way or the other about it.
I mean, honestly, he doesn't really owe us.
I feel like he would tell people what he's up to if he wanted people to know what he's up to.
Yeah, I respect that. You know, I kind of I don't divulge many details about myself either.
And unlike stuff like the PCP, like rad contenders, unlike that, like that's his business. So like whatever.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to him to talk about his life if he wants to.
Also, nice try, Krono. We all know that you're a head executive at a pharmaceutical company.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
Yeah, you got you got me.
Is that
just one of my silly little eyes? Remember that one?
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Dan, you know what? You I think your output, your video output would be a lot higher if you weren't like, you know, if you weren't working in mergers and acquisitions at like Tesla Corporation these days. Like that must be really putting a lot of pressure on you. And
he needs to get the Hyperloop working.
Yeah, it's it's a lot of work going to the bank and cashing checks and stuff.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
You're in charge.
Going to court to argue. Yes, I know. Yes, Elon said he would buy Twitter, but he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it when he signed all those documents, Your Honor. He was a joke. Look, he put a little 420 next to it. He drew a little cool S next to his name. That's an S for sarcastic.
He did a \S. What more do you want?
What? It's right there. It's right there on Twitter, sir. You can see it all. The post history is pristine. The next voicemail is just Ben's weekly reminder, play Deltarune Chapter 2. Okay. The one after that, Ben's weekly reminder. The one after that, Ben's weekly reminder, get laid. No way. I will not.
Reminder, Ben, by the way, in case you forgot.
And you can't make me. You can't make me.
Yeah.
I assume this has happened for a couple weeks now.
I don't know if there was a get laid last week.
I hope whoever like thoughtfully was making a voicemail knows that the weekly reminder to get laid guy got it before you did. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's one more. And I think this is the last voicemail ever. Ever. There will never be another. No, I will make space. Wait, I already downloaded it. It is called Ethan Ralph Jr. Will Kill You Yet, Ben Saint. 3, 2, 1, go.
I may be a baby, but I pray to God and Jesus with all my might that I may grow and be powerful enough to kill Ben Saint if my name ain't Ethan Ralph Jr.
That's the name.
Amen.
Okay.
So, all right.
So business as usual with Ethan Jr.
From what I gather, when I was catching up, this guy called in and he started doing a samurai thing, right?
Yes.
I assume he has stopped doing that. And
no. Well, I think Ethan Ralph is the samurai reincarnated. Actually,
yeah. But
yeah,
from what
so I think this is technically a continuation.
But from what I understood, that the guy who did that one was not the same person who does the other Samurai Sama voicemails. So it's sort of like a non-canon continuation.
Yes, that's correct.
But it seems like there's no samurai mentions at all in this one, so maybe this guy has spun it off into his own thing.
It's now just the adventures of the baby.
Great. Now a samurai and a baby wants to kill Ben.
Well, which one? Aren't there two babies?
And the baby might
don't
also
think so.
be the samurai, depending on what you consider canon to these voicemails.
Oh God, can we get a lecture on this stuff?
It's
Jeez.
kind of open to interpretation. Honestly, PCP voicemail lore lecture.
What a fucking
that's a good
masturbatory
idea.
lecture idea.
I've heard stupider ideas. I guess.
Jeez.
Wait a minute. Earlier in this episode. Oh no, not a lecture. I just remembered. I feel like I had a good idea for a video, and I remembered it was. Wait, was it Phoenotopia?
Yeah.
What would I make a video about? Why did I think? Oh, I should make a video about that. Like, what would I say about it?
Oh, because the aesthetic of the game reminds you of Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, I guess.
And like games like that, maybe.
Huh. Maybe something. Maybe I was thinking like the history of the development of it or something. Because like that guy's been vlogging, not vlogging. That guy's been blogging his development for like 15 years.
Really?
Yeah. Shit. I forget his name. I think he's Korean or something. But whatever.
Mega Man Legends is a legend at this point.
It is.
Hey, there we go. There's a chronoism.
It's about 25 years old now at this point.
Mega Man Legends?
Yeah, I think so.
What did it come out in like late 90s?
97, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, same year as something else.
My birth, yes.
Mega Man X4.
Maybe
97. That's yeah.
Someone,
actually, that would be X4.
Someone said that something else, some other game, came out in 1997 earlier on this podcast.
Final Fantasy 7.
Was that? I thought that was 99.
No, that was
99 was 8.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I don't know. Whatever. I'll listen back to this episode and I'll recall everything that I forgot in the course of making it. Of course.
You actually listen back to this stuff?
Sometimes.
Sometimes I do. Not never.
That's impressive.
Is it? Or is it sad? I guess
the listeners can decide that one.
That's right. As they will, as they want to do. But I guess I'm done. I've talked about all the video games that I have opinions about. Ever.
No more.
We've done the voicemails. So I mean, I'll open the floor back up to you guys if you've want to share anything with the class.
Okay. Well, I don't. Obviously, like I said earlier, I don't have any videos coming out anytime soon. I imagine, but so I will instead, check out Reps to GOG, obviously. But I'm just gonna shill a completely unrelated channel.
So we review every PlayStation 2 game. Oh God.
Yes.
Reps to GOG.
Reps to GOG. Mm-hmm. You should be able to find it pretty easily. It's kind of the only thing quite like it.
Yeah,
like when you search it. But I want to recommend another channel I found, which is it's a small channel, and it is basically Reps to GOG for PlayStation. And it's a guy who commented on, I think it was my Digital Devil Saga review. Basically, It's like, oh wow, this is a really good video. I just stumbled, it's like I just saw this. It's very similar to something I'm doing, and I checked them out. And he's actually really good. His name's Blue Bidya Game. And here you go.
Blue Bidya Game.
This is the first video of his I watched. And he seems like a really cool guy. I was talking to him a little while ago.
Seems pretty interesting. I might check it out later.
Yeah, you should.
I'll give it a view. I'll give it a listen.
He is way fucking more prolific than me and Michael are. Like
how many?
He started less than a year ago, and I think he has about as many videos as we do.
How long have you been going?
At least 2.
Couple years? Yeah. Okay.
At least 2.
I
yeah.
see.
The PlayStation games are a little bit shorter, I think, than PS2 games, so maybe it's easier to get them out faster.
Maybe.
Yeah, but there's 2 of you, so no excuse.
Tell me something I don't know.
That's a good point.
But yeah, that's all I'll say. I recommend you watch this guy. He seems cool.
Sweet.
And I recommend you watch my Super Mario RPG video.
I most definitely will. I must not have seen when that went up, because I definitely would have watched it the moment I was aware of it. So I'm gonna do that today.
And if anyone listening to this doesn't like me, you can still watch it because Cybershell is in the video.
Yeah,
yeah.
Got something for everyone, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The duality of man. The duality of man. Are you a Krono or are you a Cybershell?
Whoever wins, we lose.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do I have? That's it. Nothing. Thanks. I'm glad you guys were on. I feel like I would not have had that much to talk about this week, other than that I was on a boat.
Oh, that's no problem. You know.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to be on.
Actually, I shouldn't thank you. I should thank Doidgazer for
very true.
For tricking you. Thank you, Doidgazer, for making the podcast happen. Yeah. But we're all just pawns in your game. Yeah. Okay. Well, I haven't forgotten. Soon I will record the solo Ben commentary on the solo Bencast. I will put that on the Patreon, patreon.com/theprocrastinators for that, as well as I made that nasty, slanderous Trixie gossip video. That's up there.
Yes.
That's up there for the bonus. And also, there was another behind the scenes collection off the books chatter. Is an hour or so of that was recently posted. Another one. So there's like 55 or 58 or something bonus videos up there for patrons. Patreon.com/theprocrastinators. Send us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/PCP voicemail. Once I clear the records, which I will have done by the time you listen to this.
Once he cooks the books.
Yeah, once I just smooth out some of those wrinkles on the brain, if you know what I mean. And that's all. I'm done.
Yeah, and also go to gamerstavern.com.
Right.
TectonicImprov.com.
SaintComics.com.
We've all got .coms here.
All right, that's it. That's the end of the episode. Goodbye.
See ya.
Farewell, everyone.